No,
That's like the third time.
Is the stream
You
crashing?
hit or not?
D-Batch in the background going crazy.
Well, you still
Somebody
hit the
fed
button
D-Batch
two
Kool-Aid
times.
again. Up his nostrils. So, yeah, we should be
we're
live
live
right now, actually. Okay, hey.
Yep.
What's up? What's going on, guys? Dealer back again with yet another RDX podcast. An absolutely fantastic day for anybody that can read. Because if you're like me, you've been here every Tuesday, and we've been covering a lot of this stuff along the way, along the journey of being able to read and see things that are written down. And you know what? That really results in some common sense thinking and maybe a little bit of foresight. So if you're here early, please hit the like button. We do appreciate you for everything that you do. Hit the like button, retweet this thing, show a friend, and thank you so much for what you do. Again, I can't say it enough, literally. Colt, are you back? Are you there?
Yeah, I've been here the whole time.
Another show.
I was
Your
here
face
before
is
the show
still
started.
half red, half blue. How do you feel?
Yeah. I feel really great. I mean, today is like, I don't know, it's ever since the sun got up, it's been time to talk gaming news, and everyone's waiting to hear all about it.
Hell yeah. Hey, we've also got D-Batch. Come on, brother.
What is up, man? Lots of stuff to talk about today. Good time to be an Xbox gamer, or just a gamer in general. I'm happy to break away from all the bullshit work that I've been doing the last week. So let's do it.
He's done with it. Hey, we've also got Bonza Rally, a.k.a. the not fucking grounded gamer no more. What the hell?
That's right. Bit of a small rebrand. Not so much, though. Same channel. Fonzarelli Gaming. Check me out there. I just put out a video today. Just light on the news. Just a comeback video, basically, after a long 3-month hiatus. I'll be making videos.
You better have some damn mugs with them new brands on there. I'll be pissed.
Almost
some cups,
nothing like that. I don't slang merch, man.
I
just don't do it.
Hey, Zalker, how you
But
doing,
anyway.
Doing good, man. Glad to be here talking all these games. A lot of stuff dropped today. Jim Ryan's going to stop by on the podcast and discuss why PlayStation can't stand on its own and has to go on PC.
Oh, no. Why
wait, what happened?
Did you
what
really have
happened?
to tag team
Everybody
rock
okay?
him to people's elbow already?
I didn't do it. What
Let him
happened?
charge it a
What
little
happened?
bit. Come on.
I didn't mean it.
All right, well,
mean it,
Tim
guys.
Dog is going to be here in a minute, chat. And again, thank you so much for what you do. You guys are amazing. We have so many topics today and a great panel. As always, let me get to these fantastic patrons. Shout out to your shout outs in the biggest breath possible. We've got Alex Emery, Elk Dude YouTube, aka God's Geeks, Bad Boy Live. We've also got Achievement, Nano, Polymath, Blitzkrieg, Grunt, Zoradin. We've got Dr. Vortex. We've got, my stupid thing, stop messing up. We've also got Costanza, Pink Orcbot, Slim 73, Game Genie Prime. I think I got that. I don't want to miss these. Wayne, Scout Trooper 74, KY Bob, Wakanda XNT, Goose 8402, Straw Hat Khalifa, Assassin Lupa, Foreign Object. I think I might have said a few of these two times. Gab Quisteo, John Blue, Back Boss, D Raider X, Real Deal Neil, Suicide King, Tasteless Genie, Michael Bowen, Guillermo Cavillo, AJ Hutton, All Might. Shout out to Daniel, I was talking to him recently. Gaz, Dark CMF, and Alfonso Hogan. I really am going to go back through there and make sure some of those aren't in there 5 times. Hey, at PlayStation, they said, fuck y'all, your games are everything. What do you think? No, I pardon me. I'm not supposed to cuss anymore. I'm not supposed to say bad words anymore, guys. I'm gonna try to do a little better here, okay? Fisher Price show is starting. Sony are saying that. Well, hang on. I'm actually gonna let Fonz read this giant quote that we have in the topics as we let Tim Dog. He might be anonymous.
We're trying to help Fonz read a little better.
Yeah, me and Fonz are tag teaming on some Hooks on Phonics, and it's his turn this week. So really, Fonz is going to cover this big quote, and he's going to use that brand new logo on the screen to do it.
What quote?
Okay, never mind. Fonz is fired. We need someone in the. We got a new
I'm ready.
position? No, seriously though. I guess we could explain Colt too that they did release.
It's releasing PlayStation games. That quote.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Fonz,
Okay, so releasing PlayStation games on PC was something that Sony PlayStation held back on for a long time. Now it sounds like you're very much on the bandwagon. What chance?
What changed? Sorry.
What changed? Okay.
I told you, he needs to hooked on phonics, Dad. I told you.
You know what? There's some misspellings here, so I think somebody
text.
needs hooked on phonics here. Anyway, I think a few things changed. We find ourselves now in early 2021 with our development studios and the games that they make in better shape than they've ever been before, particularly from the latter half of the PS4 cycle. Our studios made some wonderful, great games. That's an opportunity to expose those great games to a wider audience and recognize the economics of the game development. These are not always straightforward. The cost of making games goes up with each cycle, and the caliber of IP has improved. Non-console consumers have grown. So it's a fairly straightforward decision
Facts.
for us to make. So basically, Sony games to PC.
Ooh. What? Hang on, what?
Sony games to PC.
Huh?
It's something we've said for how many years now? Sony games to
I don't
PC.
know. We're not allowed to say that. Of course, the Nick Creepy Bunny dude, whatever the fuck his name is. Basically, yeah, I mean, since 2017, we watched the show. We just said, hey, that's the direction we think we're going. I think it's common sense. And a lot of the guys in chat, most of you guys understood and saw that this is common sense. Then their own CEOs started coming out and saying, well, it's really about engagement, even though they were damage controlling and hating when Phil was talking about this. I don't like the double standards, but what I do like, and what I have talked about, and what we've all talked about is, hey, there's nothing wrong with this flexibility. If you think about it, most people that don't want this, it's like they need a reason to change something to they're not even real fans. Like if you left Xbox because your game went to PC, if you're going to leave PlayStation because your game went to PC, you're not a real PlayStation fan or an Xbox fan. Get the fuck out.
Not a real gaming fan.
I'm saying fuck more of this show. I'm sorry.
Yeah, if you're upset these games are going to PC, you just admitted that you care more about console sales figures than you do anything else. Because that's the only downside to PlayStation putting games on PC. The more games they put on PC, the less reason you have to only get a PlayStation, and that only serves for you to have a bragging rights for console sales units.
Unfortunately, you're right, Colt. A lot of people do this. So there's a lot of guys out there in the community that do value these console sales over everything else, it seems. They talk about it more than anything else. And it should be about the games themselves. And speaking of those games, if they're going to PC, that's just, the wider audience that they want to reach. There's gamers on PC that would love to play these Sony games that don't necessarily want to buy a console because, in my opinion, gamers on PC and gamers that console game are two different types of people. Okay, you have the console gamers that don't necessarily go out and buy a PC to game, and vice versa. Mm-hmm. It's that way. There's console gamers that will never buy a PC.
In the background, brother. We can't hardly hear. While you're fixing that, let me thank a few people. 1,000 people already showing up live, guys. Thank you so much for what you do. You make it one of the biggest Xbox podcasts in the history of the world. You guys are amazing. Hit the like button, show a buddy to share it, and tell us your thoughts in the chat as we kind of finalize it and kind of wrap the details up, and then I want to throw it to D. But along with that, there were a number of other announcements, and Sony are strategically rolling out this IV drip, right? They're God of War, they're basically not talking about that much at all this year. They're also saying Horizon Zero Dawn 2 is going to be on PC. They're hinting at this as well, and they're saying they're expecting that later this year. Do you really think they're going to release God of War and Horizon Zero Dawn, even though we thought God would be delayed, in the same year, Colt?
No. I mean, I've been saying it, you've been saying it, but yeah, it's a tough situation because a couple of the big PlayStation games haven't been delayed, but I believe they were ready quite a while ago, and they held a couple of them for the PS5. So yeah, we've been expecting to not see God of War Ragnarok in 2021. We weren't sure if we were going to see Gran Turismo Sport and for Horizon Forbidden West. I don't know.
Yeah.
You kind of caught me off guard because in the chat, like Face 23 keeps saying brag about it when they're day and date, and we already knew that.
We can brag about every step because we told you step by step. So there you go.
Yeah, I mean, there's bragging has nothing to do with it. I've got a PC. I've got a PS5. I'm not going to play PlayStation games on my PC. I'm going to play them on my PS5. I don't have anything to brag about. And I knew that the diehards would move the goalposts like, oh, it's not day and date, or these games are 1 to 2 years old, or they're 3 years old. So basically, if you're okay with saying it's not day and date, you just admitted that every freaking PlayStation game is now considered a timed exclusive forever from now on. Now, every game has an expiration date on it that is going to become a multiplat, as you call them on Xbox.
And that's okay.
Which they are not.
Well,
they are.
Yeah.
They are in
Let me
the
throw it to D real
platform.
quick, though. Right? I gotta get D. D, you got your D. Well, first off, we gotta bolt this damn goalpost down. And secondly, what are your thoughts after years of us talking about this is going to happen eventually, and just getting hit with these guys with just constant insults, and they don't even know anything about us or even watch the show? What are your thoughts on all that?
when Microsoft first announced this, everyone was like, "Oh, Xbox, they don't have no games. They got no more exclusives. Their games go to PC." And this was the big narrative. I think most of the PlayStation fans, like, the lunatics, not the real fans, I think they hold on to that because, they have crow. They have egg on their face, and they're trying to save face on the comments that they made towards Microsoft bringing their games to the PC. And just from a business standpoint, like, you guys hit the nail on the head. If you're a fan of Sony, if you're a fan of Microsoft, you want the games to have as much success as possible. And being on more platforms will make that game more successful. It will make that company more money. And Fonz also hit the nail on the head. PC gamers and console gamers are two separate gamers. So most of those PC guys would never buy a console. You might have, the 1-2%, you have the anomalies like me that just get everything. But for most part, they stick to their platform of choice, which is PC. So they're never going to get a PlayStation for that game you think they're going to come over and get a PlayStation for. But if you bring those games over to PC, they're going to buy those games because they're good games and they do want to play them. And we've been seeing this for quite some time, that this has been coming. They've been bringing their games, starting with a little bit of older titles, then it's slowly becoming newer and newer titles. So eventually it's just going to be day and date, and I think it's a good thing for gaming. Like, we've been saying this for so long. Now you finally see what Microsoft was doing, and Microsoft made the right decision. They're making a lot of money, and Sony wants to get in on this and make as much money as possible. So it's just good for gaming in general. It's just stupid. Like,
I almost feel sorry for some of the guys over there, man. Because there's been times where we'd have people talking on Twitter and be like, "Yeah, go ahead and put that. Yeah, that's happening," and just boom, screenshot it, and we just knew that the L's are coming. I just, first off, if you're watching, this is Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order on Xbox Series X. I don't know what the quality is. The stream's kind of being a little weird, but it is a blast, and I died a lot in this footage. Enjoy. Also, if you're watching, thank you very much. And third, Ashtray Gaming. Ashtray says in the super chat, actually, let me find this. Zalker, I want Zalker shot here too. I think Tim's trying to connect. I don't know if he's having an issue, but Zalker does say, "Great day for a podcast. P.S. The blue one is a fraud." He says, "Keep up the great work." Yeah, thank you very much, man. I can't even read that last one. And we've also got another one here from RA89. He says, "Truth is, out of Spider-Man, God of War, and Naughty Dog, they don't really have massive. I don't know. They have some massive. They got some big sellers, man. It's not really about the sales though, right? He does say that even Last of Us 2 sales tanked. I don't know about that. I didn't look into it. But either way, even if it did tank, it doesn't mean that people didn't enjoy it, right? So maybe, I don't know. I enjoy some games that didn't sell the greatest. But yeah, Zalker, what are your thoughts on this whole ordeal? And again, chat, this is a big topic, and I want your thoughts as we move on. And maybe we can pick some comments out and throw those out there.
It's another, to me, I think it's just another random announcement, right? It's just an interview, and it's just another announcement. Sony doesn't really, like, when they know that they're changing things up, like, a lot within their ecosystem and their brand, they just kind of throw it out there. Like, after the event, right, on September or whatever that month was, they just throw the little things like, "Oh, by the way, games are $70. All right, bye."
Like a bucket in the 1910s out the second story window.
And that's like, I just don't understand. Like, I get that it's like, it doesn't bother me, right? Because I've been saying this since I started talking on RDX and back in 2018. I said that they're going to be natively downloaded. PlayStation games are going to be natively downloaded on PCs, either through their own like platform or on Steam or something else. And it's happening, and it's going to happen because, it costs a lot more money to make games. And what people don't understand is, like, Spider-Man is one of the best-selling first-party games ever in Sony's history, and it sold 13 million. Right. Do you understand that, like, Cyberpunk, before it turned into, like, the trouble that it had, they were projecting that to be like a 30 million unit seller. Like, they were really thinking, like, wow, we can get like about 30 million, hopefully. And that's massive numbers. And that's because they're releasing it on PC and all the consoles. That's what Sony's trying to hit. That's what everybody's trying to hit. They're not thinking 13 million, good enough, buddy. Pat on the back. They're like, no, what's next?
And Zucker, how many consoles are out there? PS5 consoles?
PS5 consoles, probably like 5 million.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Probably about 4 to 5 million. I think they sold 4.6 is what Jim Ryan said. And what,
Okay, PS4 consoles. How many PS4 consoles are out
is
there?
that like 110
About
million?
350.
Okay, 110 million, and you're saying that games. We could even go to like God of War, which sold like close to 20 million or around 20 million.
I thought God of War
That's
sold
not-
like I thought God of War sold 11 million. I thought Spider-Man sold
No, I
more
think
than
it's
God of
close
War.
to 20 million now. But
I
still,
saw the numbers today, but I mean,
that's
they're
not a
really
lot
good.
compared-
They're bigger than Xbox first party sales.
Oh, of course,
sure.
and that's not the point. But the point is not everybody is buying these exclusive games
Let's be honest.
when they're buying.
I mean,
a
honestly,
console.
this whole thing, you don't even got to really bother with it because guess what? Corporations, they could have 500 million PS5s out there. They don't care. The next year, they want more money. They're going to PC.
Exactly,
no matter
but that's
what,
my
it doesn't
point.
matter.
So they're looking at it like, okay, so if not everybody's going to buy our exclusives that buys a PlayStation, well, we might as well put it on another platform, which is the PC, which isn't really in direct competition with consoles anyway, in my opinion. So I don't really
agree.
see the problem here. I don't see the problem at all.
So, chat, help us with the narratives that now get flipped on their head over the past. We've been listening to this, wasting our time, and listening to some of these people for years, and not by willingness. It's just kind of like popping in the background. What that guy say? Out of the bushes. Like, okay, we've heard everything from, well, Xboxes aren't going to sell anymore because they're not forced to buy them. Well, Xboxes sell great break records, even during the pandemic. Right?
I mean, don't you realize that this is the reason why
PS5
Xbox
consoles
has
are not
done
going to
this?
be bought anymore? What does this mean that the game's going to be?
No, of course not.
What?
But you got to look at it like this is exactly why Xbox puts their games out day and date on PC, because it sells more copies all around. It's not just on one platform. And again, it's not in direct competition. I will still maintain that because it's a big point to make. Now, if Sony or Microsoft were to put each other's games on each other's consoles, that's a different story, but we're not going there. We're not talking
There are
about
other
that.
preferences about an ecosystem.
It's just a business move, and it's a smart one in the business aspect.
The one thing that we talked about before when they we've talked about this. It's like it's just been happening, people. It's been leading to this. We've been talking about it for a while on here. It's when they brought Horizon, something that I was talking about was like Sony doesn't have people to make games on PC. Like their developers don't do that. They focus on PlayStation. And I said these games that are coming out are test hubs. Right now they're putting resources toward it because they want to see how difficult it is. And I guarantee you the last year they've been putting a lot of resources to get like developers in their first party studios to start making them for PC. Like, hey, we're going to be developing for two, PC and PlayStation. Just like Xbox, Phil Spencer said, he's not buying a studio if they don't know how to make a game for PC.
Hang on, here's the part of the
and I
problem.
gotta
Here's
point
part of
this
the
out
problem,
real
though,
quick.
and this is what enables the ridiculous amount of the circle of L's, right? Ermy, right? Nice to meet you, Ermy. He says, but old games. Jim Ryan basically just killed the launch games from the PS4. Do you not understand that 6 months ago you're probably saying this one game? The guys that said it's the Decim engine, same bullshit logic every time, Ermy. Change your name to Skirmy.
I just have to point something out real quick, though, man. Like, the way we're talking about it, the way we're discussing it here is a positive thing. It's nothing negative.
Good.
However, it's funny because when you listen to the other side and they talk about Xbox games on PC, it's always a negative thing. And I've never understood that. Like, this is not a negative. This is giving a chance for other gamers out there to be able to experience these amazing games on another platform that isn't even in direct competition to yours.
And
so
by the way, Ermy, if that was
what's the big
sarcasm, don't take it personally.
Fonz, what about it's not day and date, so it's totally excusable? Like, what's your take on that?
I say that it doesn't even matter if it's not day and date or what. It's like a PC gamer is more apt to wait for that game than to go rush out and buy a PS5 now to play that game. If he's a hardcore PC gamer, he wants all those bells and whistles.
60. It's not like, PS5 is 60 frames now, so a PC gamer is gonna go buy a PS5. Like I saw somebody say, "Oh, good, let him have Days Gone. That way, when this out, a PC gamer will go buy a PS5." Most PC gamers don't want a console, and most console gamers don't want a PC. That's the whole reason. They're two different communities. They're all gaming fans. But you go where your friends are and where you like to play and how you like to play, and that might be on console and PC, or it might just be one or the other. Like this isn't about that. This isn't about somebody deciding to switch from one to the other. Switching is fanboy nonsense. Like you say, I'm jumping this, I'm switching to this, I'm gonna throw away all the games I bought, and I'm gonna start playing over here because I don't like what they did or this. Like sometimes you keep a console around, you power it up once in a while, or you buy both because you just like playing whatever you want. Like, don't let people tell you about like how this is like a fanboy.
Well, as for that fanboy argument where they, are saying that, oh, it's not day and date. I remember when if we're going to go there, I remember when they were saying that it would never go there at all, ever. Like Sony games would never go to PC. You're
remember
crazy.
Rand
I remember December.
So much heat last year.
Oh yeah,
and
this was December 2019. Me and Randall Thor were putting it out there that HDD was going to PC, and everybody was giving us such a hard time, calling us frauds, liars, all this stuff. When we heard that this was the truth, this was happening, nobody wanted to hear it. And it's just one of those things where it's like, it's not a bad thing, people. Stop. It's like they're so hung up on, and you brought it up, Colt, they're so hung up on console sales. It's ridiculous to me. If it's truly all about the games for you, you wouldn't care where these games go. You wouldn't care at all. You would just care about you being able to experiencing these games, and others being able to experience these games as well. That's all I care about.
I did not care that Quantum Break was the first big game that went to PC day and date. And I remember thinking, oh, this is great because my game share buddy and I can get it on Xbox and PC. And at the time, like you could get one copy on each. It was like the very beginning of Play Anywhere. And I thought, oh, this is really cool. I didn't care because, well, I wasn't really all that interested in Quantum Break back then. But I didn't care because I knew I was going to play it on the place I wanted to play, which if I was going to play it, it was going to be on Xbox or it was going to be PC. I didn't care. And these people who are getting worried because their precious PlayStation game is going to PC. Man, there's something wrong with you.
I'll tell you this right now. If tomorrow Xbox said all of our games are going to PlayStation 5, and this is not going to be very popular with some people here. If they said all our games are going to PlayStation 5, I don't care. I really don't care. I am not that type of person. I'm not that type of gamer where I have to, I have to covet these consoles. I really don't care. I like these games. And if I have the console for that game to play on, fine. If I don't, I'll go out and buy that console to play that game. It's just that's
different if you can only afford one. But yeah, I mean, everyone's got their own opinion. This is something to Papa Smurf had a really good point. King Trash, he says saying Xbox fans are rejoicing over basically the decision to make these games multiplat, and he's saying that no, they're just deciding to clap back, quote unquote, because they were saying this was going to happen, and while they were saying this was going to happen, they were being attacked the whole time. And you know how that community is. So I think, again, it's just the resume and for this whole chat, everybody that has any common sense, it's a great day. Tim Dog, you're one of them. I want to know your thoughts on this big quote Jim Ryan said, fuck y'all. What do you think?
Well, isn't that what we've been saying for freaking 2 years? And people were laughing at us and saying they don't know what they're talking
3 years,
about. Yeah. Listen, the benefit is that we get crossplay, as Xbox fans who are okay with this. And, I think the argument, listen, when the argument came down in 2015, I thought of it and I really thought hard. And at the end of the day, I said, you know what, I'm getting a free copy. It doesn't really affect me. It's not that big of a deal, even though at that time it was a huge deal. And that kind of ties into what happened today because Sony fans are like, you guys have no exclusives and this and that. But what Sony does is just kind of like, it's just the future. They're going to go this way. They're going to probably have their Sony Game Pass. They're going to do everything Microsoft's doing. Mm-hmm. And I think even Microsoft believes that they're going to do that. And that's why they're kind of like really pushing ahead because Sony
are years behind.
They're kind of all over the place right now, and you could tell that they want to be in the PC space somehow, and I just think that it's going to grow, and I don't think that people should get so wound up in this whole thing about being a dedicated console. That's archaic thinking. We're moving into a place where your best bet to play your content is where you want. Whether that's your PC or on your console at home or even on the cloud, So it's just kind of like what we all knew, but here we are. And listen, are we gloating? I don't think so, because there was, I mean, like we mentioned Rand, a lot of us took a lot of heat for this.
Yeah.
Here we are, and they said a slew of games. I think that this is just the tip of the iceberg. Like, it's gonna just really, they're gonna follow the Microsoft model, and you know what? It's gonna be good for Sony fans because they'll realize it's a good model, or
there's no negative for them.
Yeah, there's no negative. It's good for us.
Your games actually get more copies sold. That means more falling back into the games division, and that means more expansion. You get more investment. Now, the worst thing that can happen is companies like Ubisoft are saying we're no longer relying on AAA games or stuff. That can be taken skewed. What are you doing? Invest in mobile or free to play? Like, we still want these big AAA games, and we will never say otherwise. I've yet to see any proof that that's not happening because of more sales on PC.
I think Sony got a taste of that PC money, and they're like, whoa, because their games were well received on the PC. Like, PC gamers, a lot of them have been wanting to play these games.
Them, of course. Verizon has some rough shit in there, man.
Yeah. It plays really good now, though. But a lot of these PC guys, they want to play these games. Like we've said over and over again, these guys, they don't want to go out and get a console. Some of these guys, they got rigs that they're playing at 240 hertz or 4K 120 hertz. They have no interest in a console, but they love the games that are on console. And Sony got a taste of that money, and they're just basically saying, listen, man, the games are going to be coming on PC. It is what it is, and we're a company, we need to make money and deal with it. And we are saying that we told you guys this from a long time ago, and I don't know why you guys didn't see this coming, because they're companies and they want to make money. Mm-hmm. And any way that they can make money on their games, they're going to do it. And the model right now is on PC, is on consoles.
It's on everything it can be on.
It's wherever the hell it can be on.
Well, I honestly think that I think Sony knows that they're behind with PC development.
Oh, shit.
I think that they invested a lot in it, like I said, and I think they saw what Xbox was doing and were like, well, shit, like we need to do something too. Competition drives competition. That's what it is. Mm-hmm. And if your competition's doing something and actually being very profitable in it, you need to be like, hey, what can we do to like combat that? That's what they do. Like, that's the whole point. Sony didn't sit there and go, you know what? We're going to rest on our laurels and just stick with the old tradition, because that's worked for every company that's done that.
5 years.
They haven't. Borders freaking didn't go online, and who the hell's Borders now, right?
Hey, Sony's been making money, Zocker.
Borders.
No, they're making. I'm not saying they're not making money. I'm not saying they're not making money. I'm saying th're behind in PC development.
Yeah,
and that's why they're investing.
That all falls into line with all that stuff too.
I found it funny how Jim Ryan's comments were basically, kind of like, like we need it, and I thought that was very surprising. I never seen.
Yeah, that's true. He did say it like that.
Yeah, and I mean Jeffrey Grubb. Shout out to Jeff Grubb. He had an article, and it's kind of funny. He kind of talks about that. But
do you remember what the headline is, Tim? Can you repeat it for the?
You can tell me. I remember laughing at it. I remember thing. It was something like they need Sony to help them, or something. They need.
Yeah, let me get it for you, and then you can go. PlayStation owners alone can no longer satisfy Sony's needs.
Who wrote that?
Go ahead, Tim. Jeff Grubb.
Yeah.
So what? So what is that saying? Is it saying that they're not buying enough exclusives?
That's him taken from the article that they need more money. It's a company.
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, they started charging
game development. Game development's
more
expensive. Game development's expensive as hell,
no,
man. And
that's
they've
not
talked
why.
about
That's
it.
some business corporate bullshit. We see
no,
their books.
listen,
We see
it
the
is corporate
microtransactions.
bullshit.
Quit it. Microtransactions
no.
make them make more money than they have in the history of gaming. I don't want to hear that shit.
Exactly.
Even if
Sony
they
makes more money off
they had 500 million PS5s out there and sold 20 million of every single game, the next year they try to sell 25 million.
Exactly.
You know what's expensive is building a big AAA game and it bombing and getting review killed, and it launches buggy. That's expensive. That's what CD Projekt Red went through. But a lot of it, a lot of games come out and make money. Like PlayStation's games make money when they come out. But yeah, to cop out and say it's too expensive, we got to charge $70.
There's an aspect, exactly right. Exactly right. It is more expensive in a way, but they're making more revenue, and the audience is bigger than it's ever been by far. I mean,
Yes.
this stuff
but
scales like
it's also
Game
like
Pass.
we gotta remember, right? Didn't Sean Layden say like we're gonna make less games but bigger games, but because of like the way things are, we're gonna be making less. Like
they're putting
he
more money
literally
into
said that.
fewer projects.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're putting more money in the projects, which means they need more money to come in, bigger profits. Things need.
They're getting bigger
and it's
profits.
like it sucks
yeah.
to say that, but I also remember people saying, "Oh, Xbox is all microtransaction everything, and Sony isn't because they're fair."
The next
and
year.
it's like now they need more money. So
Well, look,
Well,
they're
they're gonna
charging
tell you they need more money
$70
no matter
for
what.
games. They're charging that $70, that extra $10 for those games, and now they're doing this for PC. They're trying to make more money, and I get it. These corporations, they can get greedy. You have to think about that. And that's the way I look at it anyway. It's just a business move. They want to make more money, and who cares at the end of the day?
Exactly. Don't lose your mind like some of these guys are.
Yeah.
It's laughable.
Holy cow!
I can't believe I didn't see it coming. It's nuts.
I almost wish we could cover that. We don't do that sort of stuff, but like it's pretty interesting the mind, like the mental breakdowns and emotional breakdowns I've seen on social media today. And
I have all those people like legitimately blocked and muted, so I didn't see any of it.
crazy.
This is exactly the reason why Jim Ryan flaked on Generations. They wanted more income. They wanted more revenue.
Did you talk to
they
him
just
the other
threw-
night? Vaughn?
Yeah, when we were at Shake Shack, he finally got his Fruity Pebbles. They got
Jim
him
Ryan,
in
right?
just for Jim Loose Lips Ryan.
Yeah.
And
This is a-
while he was eating, he told me all about this. And they just needed more cash flow. And
Well,
they
did
said,
he-
That's why I had to
put
pay
our
for a shake.
games on PS4.
Did he talk with his mouth
Now we're
full
gonna
of
put 'em
Fruity
on
Pebbles?
PC.
Like, was he being?
Occasionally, I had to tell him, dude.
All right. Well,
come on,
I have to
close your
occasionally read a super chat or
he
two. I
told
haven't
me-
I haven't read any of these yet. So let me get a few of
Jim
these.
Ryan told me he doesn't go on PlayStation podcasts because all they do is talk about Xbox.
Oh,
Sorry.
Wheeler, we didn't hear that.
Hey, Marcus
Well,
Phoenix.
we are talking
we
about
got the
PlayStation.
Marcus Phoenix in the super chat. He said, "Bro, is Wolf 3 Multiplat exclusive?" Honestly, man, there's multiple different things that everyone's hearing. We don't know. Pong Soul, shout out to you, brother. New channel member. We got to play some 2K soon. Psychonauts. He says, shout out to everyone on the panel and, of course, in the chat. Tell Psychonauts hi if you're in the chat. I spoke to him recently. And shout out to Assassin Loop. I haven't spoken to her, but I hope she's okay. We've also got Davari. Shout out to you. He says, what's up, gamers? Can't wait to play all these games where I want to play them. Yeah. Again, no negative unless you're holding on to that box like stiff-arming people, trying to keep your game safe from other people. It just don't make sense. Ashtray, I got you. Also, RA89, I got you, buddy. Another channel member, Brad Browning. I think there's like 150 or so channel members now. Psychonauts again, he says, it's a wrap. Oh my God, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. And then we've got, that video's so funny. Yeah, guys, I'm not going to talk about other people in this. Because once I get talking about, I make a diss track live on air. Come on. Also, we got, we had to stop D-Batch and all these guys from doing last week. It was hilarious. I will come back to some of these, actually, since there's so many I got to get to still. But it's a wrap. It's a wrap. Johnny Lazani, shout out to you, brother. All Might, shout out to you, man. He says exclusive. And then, let's get back to some other topics. Again, big quote there from Fonz, reading right from the guys at PlayStation and how their tune has changed, just like Miles Morales going to PS4 has changed. It didn't get ported in a month. Just like Gran Turismo, on and on. List goes on and on. We do have other things.
God of War Ragnarok will be on the PlayStation 4.
Yeah, Horizon Forbidden Burritos. Same thing. God of War, we don't expect this year. We never did. Gran Turismo 7 is something that got delayed, or it's going to get delayed. Right, Tim? Is that happening?
Which
Gran
game?
Turismo 7?
Yeah, I heard that they also mentioned Horizon's coming out this year, which I thought was really weird.
Which it was supposed to, I think.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Originally GT7 was supposed to be, I think, in the window. So, but with Polygraph, they're notorious for being late or polyphony. I'm sorry.
Polygraph.
Lie detector.
This motherfucker lied.
No, but they take their time, and I probably would. Their games are coming just like Xbox's, but I think people to think that 2022 is going to be like laden with games. I don't know. I kind of feel like Starfield is up in the air, as well as some Sony games, and GT7 is one of them.
I think we'll see God of War and Horizon Zero Dawn push back to 2020. Personally,
Tim, you think?
Hey,
you
Bit
think
Mojus, by the way, that's been happening for a while, bro. Hey, go ahead, D.
Tim, You think Starfield's going to be delayed? Because usually when
No, I hear that they're gunning for 2021, but
because usually when they show a game, they usually pretty much release it in the same year. Just the way their
Well,
schedule
just
works.
in COVID, like
Seems highly ambitious.
it throws
It's hard
like a
to
6
say.
month. Yeah, it throws a 6 month delay on most everything.
Yeah.
Or
But
Well,
at least
we might find out soon about all that. So
I think we'll see some
Um,
substantial footage of the game, though. What do you think?
yeah,
I hope
I think that I mean there was a credible post by a guy that is well known for kind of breaking stuff, and he said that they are, as of a couple of months ago, their plan was 2021 holiday, and as far as he knows that they're sticking to that. It makes sense. Bethesda just, every year Bethesda always had games, they always had shows, and they didn't have a show last year, obviously. I think we're all gonna be pretty happy. I'm hoping at least in a couple of weeks. I think we're gonna have a lot of news to talk about.
Yeah, and I don't think it's an elephant. I want the
That'll
damn
be
game
good.
to be finished for one. Secondly, nobody ever expected Microsoft to go out and buy ZeniMax and just smack, literally murder Stadia. So I just want the game to be finished. And even if Starfield were to go to PlayStation, I wouldn't be blown away. I'd be like, oh, okay, well they had it in development for the system. They're just like with Ninja Theory and the Outer Worlds. The next title would then cut that umbilical cord over. So soccer knows what that's like, right? We've got a different topic. I want Colt to lead this one, because it is about Microsoft talking about Game Pass and Sega, a rather big publisher for the service, giving their take on a lot of this stuff as well. And before I do, because I have to, shout out to 1,700 plus of you guys watching us live. If you haven't hit the like button, share it with a buddy or two, and of course, tell us your thoughts in the comments down below, because we might be grabbing some more comments. Let's try to get closer to 1,000 likes from this show. Thank you very much. Colt Eastwood, Sega are commenting, big publisher, on Game Pass, and they're saying, look, we're getting $1 for each of these games is bullshit. What is sorry,
I'm waiting for that damn
wrong
dollar.
one. Game Pass is
Steely is
amazing.
like the
says
worst
Sega.
Cuss
place
again.
kicker in all of the NFL. Like I go to kick a field goal and he'll bring up like a chicken or something and set it down on the turf.
Xbox Game Pass is amazing, says Sega.
Sega, okay. Sega.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You got to be
great.
quote here.
So what are they going to do? They're going to just put a bunch of their games in Game Pass, or
Well,
Well, they
you
talked
got a big
about-
quote here to read, basically.
I read it.
Well,
They
it's called
talked about-
topic, Sauer. That's
Oh,
rude.
well,
Well,
grab
Colt,
it.
be
I'll
prepared.
fight you. Who you fighting?
let's see.
Who
We
you
are.
fighting?
Oh, here it is. Is it? We are happy with the results, and we hope Microsoft are too. Is this the right one? Yes.
I told you about this before the show. You said yes.
I thought you were going to give me the other one.
You're doing great.
We
Go
are
ahead.
happy with the results, and we hope Microsoft are too. Ultimately, they wanted quality sales, and we wanted to take advantage of a great new opportunity. It strengthens the experience. You get to a huge first-party audience. That search and engagement, in turn, keeps to further establish your products in the marketplace. It's great for us, and it's great for consumers who get to have the experience, something they have not have engaged with outside of Game Pass before. Close quote.
You are trying to audition right now for
Yeah,
something
was.
weirdly, really weird.
I'm a little
It-
excited.
I was
in
waiting
the
for
nether
a-
region.
Actually, don't even want to play these games after
Walmart.
hearing that voiceover. I'm kidding.
I mean, I'm not a fan of Sega stuff
Why you
very-
gotta-
all
why you
that
gotta-
much.
why you
Like,
gotta hate?
You
I'm
enjoyed
sorry.
Streets of Rage.
Yeah, you enjoyed
oh, that
that.
was a Sega game? Okay, yeah. Rand
He's
and I
like, I
had
love Sega now.
a pretty good time with that game. And Vanquish was kind of all right once you skip the cuts.
You just slide around
Yeah.
on your knees the whole time in that game. It's fucking weird.
I'm
Picking
on
on
fire.
across the ground. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think about Vanquish chat. But yeah, they have some games, and they brought some decent sized titles in there, and they're planning on doing more. They are very, very pleased with the service, and again, we're the ones, and along with the guys in the chat, like smacking these bullshit rumors down that Game Pass is bad and they hate and they can't make money, when it's the opposite, right?
They actually talked about one of their games, Hospital. I forgot the name, but Hospital something has 3 million like current players. Like it reached 3 million people playing it because of Game Pass, which made them very happy because it grew a community and actually like helped the franchise and all this stuff that they thought like, oh, it's kind of a risk, and it like blew up. And then they even talked about like they asked them like, oh, would you server? So like, of course. And then the the person that was talking, Annie Downing, I think, said, oh yeah, and to be honest, like there's an opportunity for us to make games for the service, like games that are like kind of,
Oh shit.
for that kind of subscription service. And they're like, so we're looking at ideas for that. Like they apparently like Game Pass has like blown them away. Like they've really enjoyed it and have like quite praised it a lot in that interview. I read that whole thing and I was like, geez, like they really enjoyed it.
Yeah. I remember when people were running with they were going to make exclusive, only playable on xCloud games. Remember that? And then we reminded them, hey, it's an Xbox and a server blade. You have to be able to play it locally on an Xbox for it to even be in there. So it makes no sense. So I don't know, Tim, this is something that you've been on the forefront of on Twitter. Again, you're past 30,000 Twitter followers, and some of those guys are your victims.
Wow.
So I want your take. What your take on this Sega? Poker?
Wow.
Listen. I don't think that there's going to be an acquisition, but
No.
I do think that they might have some type of deal where it could be a collaboration. But who knows? I mean, listen, I've heard that Xbox is not in the. I've heard through the rumor mill that Xbox is more or less looking now more at publishers rather than developers because 15 studios is a lot of studios to put together, but if they could have publishers where they kind of handle it themselves, it becomes less of a management of all those studios because it becomes easier because that publisher, as in like Bethesda or let's just say they bought Sega, kind of handles themselves in their own entity. So I wouldn't put it out of the equation because they do have PC support and stuff like that. But it's definitely something that's interesting to be looking at. And just Microsoft in general, just right now, and Xbox, they're pretty hot right now, and I do think that there's stuff going on. I do think that once the Bethesda deal hits and we get some of the news and we get kind of everything out of the way there, I would say I could see them getting another extension. On
the rent.
I said it on the two other shows. They're looking for the PC centric. They kind of want to help. Even though it would come to console, they kind of want to make a bigger PC presence for Game Pass in general and kind of work on that. And also, maybe some games that kids play, Sonic or Banjo or whatever you want to say.
Well,
but
Sega actually, the one thing I was looking at is Sega has a lot of prominent PC games like Total War RTS games, and their Total War Warhammer is at like its third game and it's sold extremely well. I know. I mean, I own both of them. I've played them. I freaking love them. They're great, like RTS and freaking strategy and campaign, and like they're pretty big games that if you drop those in Game Pass, I guarantee you they'll get people to sign up for it. Like that's what I think. That's where Sega kind of might like just comes into play with Sega is those kind of franchises, because Warhammer, I think Sega has a lot of the licensing agreement with that, right? So they can use that a lot. That's a big franchise that can make multiple games from. They have like Relic Entertainment. They have pretty good developers there. I don't know if they would buy them. Maybe they sign a deal with them, but I see what you're saying, like buying publishers where they can just manage themselves like ZeniMax, because why not? Like, why not just do that? Because the whole point of this whole thing, that the number one thing at Xbox is Game Pass. You get on Game Pass, they're happy. That's all they want, is you to get on Game Pass. And it's from the PC for $10 or Ultimate Edition if you have both, like me. Like, that's all they want. So they're going to buy as many publishers to get as many people and have as many genres of games on there. That's the whole point, right? Like when you look at Netflix, they have anime, animated, movies, shows. They have everything that you're to your heart's content, no matter what kind of form of media you enjoy. Like that's the whole point, is they want that. They want to get everybody that likes every type of game.
Huh? So you're saying when there's no AAAs, they want an audience that are mainstream or maybe smaller, more wider, diverse types of games, or a Japanese type of game audience where you always got that group that's subscribed, and there's never just a massive plummet.
Yeah, there's not. People aren't just subscribing for call it Halo, right? Like sure, a lot of them are there. They're going to play Halo. I get it, but not all of them.
But
are
you know
like,
what? Teen Mom 2 is on Netflix too, and when House of Cards is over, that other group's there. So they got people waves at all times watching different shows.
Oh yeah, that's the whole point.
So yeah,
that's the whole point.
Chat, let us know what you think about that. By the way, Zalker, yes, exactly right, and you want that kind of mix. So like different channels. Some people subscribe to people for game reviews, and they might talk about some other stuff. And you've got those guys that wave in and out depending on what the video is about. But you've got a consistent group of guys that will hang out, right? So makes perfect sense. You know what else makes perfect sense is the almost 2,000 people getting up there, 1,700 plus watching live. Guys, hit the like button if you haven't, and tell a friend. Let's try to get closer to 1,000 likes before the end of the show as we wake Cody Eastwood up or ground. Hey, actually, Fonz, are you? Huh? The Fonz ain't said nothing in a minute. But
No, I'm here.
okay, he literally sounds like he just pulled his head
I'm here.
out by a tree sleeping.
No, I'm here. I'm just. I was reading something.
Oh, is it? Can it be spun to be entertaining?
He's reading a Daniel Steele book.
No,
Daniel
not at all.
Steele.
Not at all.
You know, did you read this quote by Z Huge, which I found was just super? I don't
No,
know.
what was the quote?
I think it was just dumb.
What was it?
He says PS games are basically one and done, so they have to do this to put their games on more play. It's bullshit. They're making money in those games.
Yeah, I hate that whole one and done.
I love those
argument.
one and
I
done
love single
games.
player games. I'm not messing with that.
He said, "I'm not even touching it." Dude's got the letter Z in his name. Not messing with it. Well, I mean,
No,
I don't
it's just it doesn't make sense to say something like that. I hate that term, one and done.
Mhm.
Just hate it.
Well, I mean, Cole, what are your thoughts on that quote? Do you agree on it, or?
No, I don't. I always argue when Xbox fans say that Sony games are one and done, but I do agree that he means that PlayStation games are typically, the first party games are typically just single player games, so they don't have a shelf life as far as multiplayer support and a multiplayer community. They typically don't even have online co-op, with the exception of Bloodborne. There's a couple of games that have online campaign co-op for the story-based stuff. So he shouldn't have said one and done, but he's like, I guess that's shorthand for.
Well, what I
they
really don't
have
take,
multiplayer tales on their games. People are still playing Halo 5 and Gears 5. They're still playing Horizon 4 online with friends. They're still playing there's a bunch of games that just have a long life, but like once you buy the game, it's a one and done purchase. Like you buy it once.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to
Yes.
say. It doesn't matter. It has no bearing whether it's a one and done or a multiplat. You bought it. You bought it.
They made the money,
makes no
right?
sense.
It has nothing to do with going to PC.
Unless they mean they couldn't add more microtransactions onto it because it's not a multiplayer, game or whatever, Maybe they mean that. Maybe there's no
Yeah.
You
purchases.
can put microtransactions
Probably.
on anything.
That's probably what he means.
Yeah, that's what he means. I think I agree right there.
Hmm.
But like you guys say, like Sony they don't really have a lot of multiplayer games or games like that. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I kind of feel like, as strong as Sony's been, and we all know how strong they have been, and how they've really been a force in the industry. I kind of feel like they're on their heels right now, and I'm not saying that in a fanboy sense. I'm just talking like Xbox just seems like they really kind of like everything they've been saying since 2017, which was forward thinking at the time, and it's just all coming together now. And I think Sony, you got to listen. Even though Sony had its biggest quarter last quarter and they're doing great, they have to be looking at what Microsoft's doing and being like, this is something that we got to kind of spread our wings and and try different areas to make money. We can't keep doing what we're doing, even though it's working. It's just the writing's on the wall, kind of, and I kind of just feel like they're on it just came very weird to me just today how blatantly honest Jim was
After not being honest for so long.
Just coming forward and being like that, and for us to even be talking about this stuff, like Z Huge saying that, it's just I kind of for about 8 years or even a full generation, it was just completely domination, and now it's like there's some real questions that are arising for them, and they'll be okay and everything. But yeah, I think that times are changing. I think that they realize that, and they're kind of like they're gonna have to restructure or they're gonna have to do things differently.
It's almost not even fair, Tim, because I mean you get guys that are for the whole generation saying that Sony would never do this, right? And they just nonchalantly
defiant.
They're just putting it out there like, nah, they have to do this. It's like, but you just spent 4 years telling us that you never do this, and
I know.
you know, it's just, it's like the guys that
Having podcasts about it, emergency podcasts about
it's your council meeting. It's like, nah, go back, crawl back.
The funny thing is one of the main arguments was people were like, Xbox needs to put Bethesda games on PlayStation and make their money back. It's like, well, it looks like PlayStation needs to make their money back on PC. What the hell are we talking about here?
Yeah.
Like, what's going on? And as for
Good
like the
talker.
multiplayer games, like Sony, they didn't have any multiplayer games this generation, like at all, like nothing.
Don't lie,
and the reason why I think
They had
is
a
because
couple.
the reason why is because they banked on games like Destiny. They had marketing deals with Destiny to the point where a lot of people that I knew, like casuals, thought Destiny was exclusive to PlayStation, like because of the marketing deal. And they just were like, cool, we'll just bank on that and won't make any. Like that's what happened. But I don't know, man. People need to just wake up, see what the future is going to hold, and you know, whether you're playing PlayStation games on your console or your PC, it's not going to matter.
Well, yeah, and two, it's not like they ever stopped making games. Sony have done a great job the back half of the generation. We praise Spider-Man, God of War, one of my favorite games of all time. I said this multiple times in front of tens and tens, hundreds of thousands of people. And that's great. I can't wait to play the next one. It's when you got guys that thought Miles Morales looked amazing until it was a cross-gen. Next day, it's trash. And they were saying the same thing about the Microsoft stuff. And then Sony come out, we're supporting PS4 for 3 to 4 years. Well, okay, that God of War post does just basically Steven Seagal your neck. What do you do now? Well, I'm going to go ahead and skip on over this one. Okay, now they're bringing it to everything. I just can't fathom just being able to just, well, I need to find a hole. How do I get out of this room? It just got a lot smaller over and over and over and never learning from it. Miles Dampierre from Windows Central, he also said that they are confirmed 100% Dying Light 2. No, he didn't say that. I'm kidding.
Dealer!
I'm kidding. That was Goldie's.
I thought that Island was a real game.
Shout out to Miles, by the way, who we did play Sea of Thieves with and had an all right time.
Jeez.
What?
I hate you.
That's a compliment. That's a compliment.
It went from trash to it's all right.
It's all right. No, I mean, we had an all right time. Don't
I
misquote
played
me.
last Friday. It was freaking glorious. I love that game.
Well, I mean, again, it's just a lot, man, to watch this stuff happen for years and just try to be straightforward with it. To watching guys instantly flip it over and like it's nothing. It's nuts. Can't fathom it. Again. So let me get a few of these super chats while the rest of you come up with something to say. We've also got I already got Psychonauts. I already got All Might. Yosemite. $5 super chat. He says, "Is that the Colt Eastwood? ? I heard about the guy, kind of funny, Xcast because of this great oh, you're talking about Colt's interview with Jason Ronald. Yeah. Yeah, it is the Colt Eastwood, and you should go subscribe. Thank you very much. We've also got J-Rock. Shout out to you. He's been just linking stuff on Twitter like crazy. His Twitter wall is just one giant, just whoosh. He says that can Sony's first party be considered timed exclusive? That's the thing. If they go by the same logic as the reason with Microsoft, I would say so. But if you're a console guy, you don't care. You want to play on console? PC, you don't care. Maybe we'll get both. The question is, will they match Microsoft's value with crossplay? Will they give you a free copy on PC and with your PlayStation version, vice versa?
No.
They need to. That competition needs to happen. Just like we called to get rid of the free-to-play paywall and all that. We just want that stuff to go away. It's kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
I don't expect them to pair the PC and console.
I'm not saying I expect it. It's a question worth asking.
Yeah, it is something that they should do. But
there's some games that does make sense, like Forza. Sports games. It makes sense because on PC, you're not going to play FIFA with a keyboard and mouse. You're not going to play Forza with a keyboard and mouse. If you do, you're an idiot. So, I think those games they can make. Open.
Has Xbox backed off on the Play Anywhere feature in the past couple
years? No, they just haven't released any damn games. So we don't.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess all the ones that have come out are all crossplay, right?
I mean, yeah,
I guess they have. Yeah, I thought there was a couple where they didn't support the PC version included, but maybe that was some Game Pass stuff.
Yeah, that was like.
That's probably what it was.
I'm loving the crossplay stuff. Soon we got the show that comes out in a couple of weeks, and that's going to be crossplay, and that's going to be exciting, man. You got you can have teams of Xbox guys against PlayStation guys for like bragging rights, and I think that's awesome for gaming because we're always. On Twitter, you got the guys going back and forth with each other in the comment section under the videos. there's always that rivalry, and I think it's great to actually put it into an actual game. So I'm looking forward to playing that game on the Series X and play against some PlayStation guys or vice versa. It's gonna be good times.
That's a good point. And Brady Fox right now is playing MLB The Show 21, the tech demo on his Xbox right now, and that's a good point. You'll be able to kick some ass in baseball versus some PlayStation guys in friendly competition. I think that stuff's really cool, and the fact that baseball game is coming out has got a lot of people excited. There are entire YouTube channels springing up around it that are based on baseball now, right? On Xbox. So it's very interesting. It's starting whole new communities, which then get out there and push further and further, as we've done, right? So shout out to Freddie. Hopefully you're having fun. I know my brother's looking forward to that game. I'm buying that game. Even if I don't play it, I'm like, look, I got it. Wow. So I'll check it out definitely, though. Tim, I tried Madden 21, by the way, too. It looks pretty good.
I saw you playing that, dude.
Yeah.
I was like, what is happening?
Yeah, you're like, what's a game?
I had to pinch myself.
You had to pinch yourself.
I was like,
it looks pretty good, though. It's not bad. MLB The Show, hopefully they don't even have a trailer out for that game yet, Tim.
The show?
Yeah, like a gameplay trailer. I have not seen one like on the store.
Yeah, usually they typically with them they usually do like 2 weeks before, or I've seen it. They show it very close to release. They'll do like a whole rundown. But like you said, it's pretty cool because the Swami, the big Swami friend of mine, he's on Twitter. He actually, I think he actually played the show like every day, like he YouTubed it and showed it. So there's a lot of content creators that are just like crazy about the game, and it's huge for Xbox to get this game, and fill out the whole sports genre because they've always been lacking this, and it was a huge deal for a lot of Xbox fans.
Mm-hmm.
So for them to get it is really good.
Yeah.
And
Bill said, he's basically always asked about baseball.
Right, exactly. And it just seems like a lot of things going right for Xbox right now, and this is just another thing that you could say, hey, here you got this. So I mean, for me, you guys know how much I play the sports games. And I'm playing Madden right now, franchise.
Need to get on
good.
2K and get dunked on, Tim.
Yeah, so I love 2K too. It's awesome. I thought about it. It's pretty cool. You could have NBA 2K Madden and show all quick resume. Like you could jump from game to game. Anybody who knows how cool the quick resume is, that's like, to me, that's awesome. That's like, if you want to just play video games, have a sports night and stuff like that, you just jump in. So, but yeah, it's huge news. But they'll come out with some type of trailer or some type of they usually do, like 1 year they did the faces.
Yeah.
They'll show what they're doing new, and it's gonna be awesome.
Got to release something before the damn comes out. It comes out soon, so hopefully they do. Also, again, shout out to almost 2,000 people watching live. If you haven't, hit the like button to try to get closer to 1,000 likes for the end of the show. We do appreciate you. Nano Polymath, $10 Super Chat says, with the partnership of Azure deal, anyone thinking that this was the plan? Of course, yes, this was the plan all along, because Jim didn't actually think. This is the thing. When they signed that memorandum, there's a reason that all of us said what we said. If you go back and look at this stuff, you might pick up on some things, all right? Just like over the past month, we've been hitting some stuff that we just didn't say. They signed that memorandum. It's common sense. That's their intent, to use Azure to stream multiplayer PlayStation games to cell phones and TVs, and potentially, who knows, maybe more. So again, that's very interesting. What did you say, Tom?
Hey, can I throw a
Your
topic?
fridge.
Oui.
Can I throw a topic into the mix real quick, and maybe we can gloss over it for 20 seconds? But yesterday, this report came out that Sony isn't allowing video games to depict dismemberment of human characters. That they're going to start censoring or not allowing dismemberment in video games on the platform. I haven't really read into it. Just that's kind of a weird.
You just made Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, it's just a weird. Yeah, it's a weird
So
thing with
true.
Ghost of Tsushima and The Last of Us Part 2. Like, I don't. So matters quite surprising considering the fact that some of his games have set a benchmark for mature tones. For instance, The Last of Us 2 had several brutal and gory moments which, despite receiving some criticism, was widely acclaimed as well. With Sony itself taking such bold directions in video games, it'll be interesting to see what Sony's justification for the stance is.
There's got to be some context.
And that was from
out.
Dual Shockers.
No,
Gotta be
I don't
something
know.
off here. Because Sony loves chopping limbs off.
I mean, just that overall pisses me off when they have movies like Saw and real human depiction, and it's just 10 times worse. What the hell
And
makes
I think
it's a video game?
Yeah, and I think
Jesus
that Valhalla
Christ.
wasn't the best. Valhalla wasn't the best Assassin's Creed game for me, but the dismemberments like made it. That sounds so gory, but like when you're chopping axes and an arm comes off, you're like, okay, because it's always been like where they just fall over, like, meh, I died. Ow.
Yeah.
I can't wait for the misquote, the clip. RDX said Sony's getting rid of dismemberment forever.
Yeah, this is Dual Shockers, which is a big supportive PlayStation site.
Okay, this got you
They don't
fired
sound
up.
very
Love
happy
chopping
about
arms and
this
stuff off, huh?
Yeah, and they don't sound very happy about this report either. And I just don't see PlayStation
Let's him
actually
get
going through
I
something
got to
like
get some fuel out of him. I can tell he's going.
No, I watch things like like movies, and it's much more disturbing and much more real. And that's okay, but we can't have a dismemberment in a video game where you right from the get go, it's fake, it's fantasy. I hate people who push against video games. I would love to see what's in their closets.
They grew up watching Arnold blow like 45,000 guys away in one scene.
I just don't understand that. I think that if stuff like that starts to creep into video games, and they really start like watching that, I mean,
that's what the ratings for.
Tim, what if they every time you chop someone's arm off, their hand off, just like Grounded, that body limb turns into a spider and crawls off?
Can you imagine the next Mortal Kombat on PlayStation fatalities or hugs?
Oh, just
I mean, they did that. They did that on the Super Nintendo, and I think it was the
fatality.
Super Nintendo.
They make you play the Stadia. They hand you the
well,
controller.
they removed all the blood drippings and the fatalities removed. I mean, that was really famous in the mid '90s, late '90s. But I don't know. I've heard about this thing, and it. I don't know. I'm with Tim. Like, there's a rating there for a reason.
Ashtray says it. Ashtray. The reason video games are treated differently than music and movies is because parents like to pretend like, well, it's not my fault. Actually, it's this thing that my child's been doing while I haven't been watching it. And this thing that I bought my child, I'm going to blame that and not the movies and, well, me myself. I'm going to blame something that I'm going to blame. I just want to be able to take this shit off me and put it on this console thingy that I gave the child and bottled shit for him. And I'll let that be the problem, not me, the parent. And that's why they treat it differently than movies and music.
Yeah, but it has ratings on it. So like
I know they still buy it.
It clearly says it's for a certain age. We have all of this violence that's like I'm getting up there now, and honestly, like the violence that I see on TV now, and I'm not saying I'm against the violence. I'm just simply saying the violence that I see on TV now, that shit would never be on TV like in the 90s or in the late 80s. You wouldn't find that stuff on TV. The stuff that we have on YouTube, with I'm not gonna say I don't like it, but with half-clad people dressed, no clothes on, whatever.
Oh.
You got all of that stuff on YouTube. You got all that stuff.
Like it? Shut up, D.
D had to watch that
recommend
stuff
D's doing it in
scrambled
VR.
Back in the 90s, D had to watch that stuff scrambled. Hey, D, is this stuff? Are there different standard in Japan? Like, this sounds like over in Japan they're getting more heavily censored than we would see in North America. And are there stricter censors overseas?
Over there, it's the
little
government.
white child.
So the government, the government's a little bit more into it there. So they kind of.
This might be like
we're going down a slippery slope apart.
Anyway, D-Batch, tell us how to make great cinnamon rolls, D-Batch. Continue.
I really don't. I do know that cultures are different across the world, and not every standard works. So this may be something that PlayStation deals with in a different part of the country and not worldwide. So I don't think we should dwell on this subject very long. It's just kind of interesting.
Every time Zucker just dies in the background, I'm like, God.
Sony had a bad day.
Sounds like a bird transforming.
Oh my gosh, Tony just said, what's the title does the DualSense in Tokyo have? Tokyo Trip.
Oh my. PlayStation.
Oh, did you guys?
Need for
Did you
Speed
guys
Tokyo
see?
DualSense Drift.
Did you guys see what? I was on Twitter somewhere that made the rounds, and then people just stopped talking about it. They said that they think that Ghostwire Tokyo and Deathloop are coming to PC the same day. Like,
I
and then
think
it'll
they
be
are.
and then it'll be on PC Game Pass day and date, even though it's an exclusive to PlayStation. It's going to be on the
that would
console,
be nuts.
but it'll be on Game Pass PC day and date because
Oh,
it's not on console. It's just on Game Pass PC.
That'd be crazy.
I
don't
saw
think that's
that and
true.
I was like,
They
huh.
can do it. They can
It
do
could be
it.
a workaround because if Sony only paid for the Xbox or for the
Console
console
exclusive,
exclusive,
yeah.
Other
Yeah.
Zoom
Still
just
on
said, "Hey, I'm
PC.
back," and Sony still ain't got no games.
Typically, Sony does these timed exclusives, these platform console exclusives. Typically, they put them on PC and allow them to be on Switch and PlayStation. So I would expect Ghostwire and Tokyo and Deathloop to be on PC, but not Game Pass. I think that's the Xbox platform, so I don't think it'll be allowed.
Irby, Colt, he's breaking. He's doing big things.
What'd he say?
Irby says breaking news. He says Yakuza's producer basically said he wanted to bring the 17th and 19th. I guess he said fuck date. I don't know. He said he wants to bring those Yakuza spin-offs to the West, and we do know that they just brought the ones to Game Pass, right? So that's another segment that they want to
Almost
keep
the
those numbers
whole
up, right?
series is on Game Pass right now, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So thanks.
Cole said
thanks, Irby.
PS5 is halfway done and now they censor games.
Oh my gosh!
When they
Hey, how
censored
much
it, it
is
went down
that
to
expansion
1.4.
for the PS5? How much is that expansion SSD?
Did they finally let me know we can get these damn things?
$417 or hours. Wait, what?
What?
Real quick, we talked about the joystick thing, about the joy. I want to call it Joy-Con, the stick drift.
That's Xbox got it bad too, man. Honestly.
Yeah, remember these are identical engineering designs and components that are in the Nintendo Switch, the Xbox, and the PS5. There's some slight differences, but apparently the PS5 and Fonz had to jump out for some reason. He dropped off. He fell off his grounded platform, but apparently there's a problem right now where the PS5 joysticks, whatever you call them, the thumbsticks, have like a 417-hour shelf life before they start drifting, and they're not seeing that with the Xbox.
And when you play
Or
it,
the
and you
Why
move
is
the
there a
left and right stick together, you bash your thumbs off each other, the sparks fly everywhere. It's a real mess.
I
Because
guess
they're not offset.
about the design of the PlayStation. Like, don't get me wrong, the system, I have no problems with the system per se. The games look and play well on it. But just the build quality of the PlayStation, I will say that the DualSense 5, it is better constructed than the previous generation.
Yeah, it's nice.
But still, there's a few little things where it just, it doesn't feel 100% premium. And I gotta be honest, after having the PlayStation, since launch and having enough time with it, the number one thing that bothers me is the design of the system and the color. Already, I'm having to
You're just a hater.
Well, no, man, I have to. It's the only white console. It's the only white thing in my entertainment unit. Like,
It looks like a piece of the '80s escaped in my entertainment center. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it collects dust, so it stands out. So you got to constantly be on it, and just over time, doesn't matter how much you clean that dust off. Over time, just it being white, it's gonna accumulate somewhat, and it's gonna kind of dull and get dirtyish a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
You were worried about the future.
Yeah, it's just the design. I think we're gonna see a revision of the PlayStation 5 sooner than later.
It sure looks like a console that was designed in 2019 that stooped up and
or what was told to me by a particular person up pretty high. This looks like a pretty old tech.
Listen, I saw the console at I was working, and I for the first time came close to the console. Like I was actually working next to it. I was putting a set-top box in.
Did you almost trip over it?
Man, let me tell you something. I'm being brutally honest.
Oh, here we go.
That's a monstrosity.
What about the egg cartons it shipped in?
Tim, you already knew the PlayStation 5 was big, and when you saw it in person, what's the first thing you said?
Holy shit! This is a monstrosity. And what I thought to my mind is
it's like how far can this go if I kick it?
There would definitely be people would be talking still. There would be a lot of memes. If this was Xbox that came up with that after the history that they had, they would get killed. Let me be honest. That console needs to be redesigned, and it will be.
We were on a
Damn.
party chat when
It's-
Fonz opened up his PS5 for the first time last week, and he's been hearing about the size of that thing for 3 months.
You don't,
or
you don't
almost 3
set in
months.
until you see it.
Yeah,
then
and so
use
he's
it as a
opening the
wrap.
box on the party chat with Dealer on, and he's like, "Holy crap, this thing is huge!"
I just crawled
And
in here. Can you guys hear
like
me?
he
I'm
was
in the
so
box.
surprised.
Mhm.
It's the best.
We
Yeah.
told him before he got it too. We were like, just a warning. We know
It's
we say
bigger than you
big.
think.
It's bigger
Yeah.
than you think.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, I have an idea. And we were like, no, it's bigger
He's
than
like,
you
I
think.
watched some
Trust
Sony
me.
guys damage control. It looked normal. I don't know.
Because I
Did
saw
you
the
guys-
box,
did you
and I
hear he pulled
remember.
his back out. When
What?
he took it out of the box, he freaking herniated his back.
Hey, I built a new home with the box. That's where I'm at right now. Let me
Honestly,
go ahead, Tim.
great.
Go ahead and get on that one. And I'll read a few of these.
no, it's just like I said. That's the same exact reaction I had because I knew we known obviously how much it was talked about, how big it was, but seeing it for the first time, like real life, and a lot of people haven't probably seen it. Like I was thinking about it, you will be taken aback if you haven't seen it. It is big,
Yeah.
really big.
Yeah, we also got to, at least at the end here, mention the Drew Murray stuff because we thought that was fucked up too. And I didn't get a chance to even talk about it in a video or anything yet. So I'll definitely probably be covering this at some point. But yeah, we're going to cover that. Again, shout out to everybody watching this live. If you haven't, hit the like button, share it with a buddy or two, and of course, let us know your thoughts as we continue on to bigger, better topics. You guys are amazing. We've got Strange Freedom. He's basically saying, hey, with these games going to PlayStation or PC, he's going to save that money and put it in his PC and play it there. A good idea. It's all up to you. Just no negative to it. Dark CMF, he says, yep, I don't much care where games go. Yeah, as long as he can play the games where he wants. And there's not, again, nothing. A lot of people are commenting about where the games are going. Again, same thing we said with Game Pass and with Xbox. What is the negative? We've got Unrun Dog. He says, yo, Rand saying Wolf 3 Multiplat. What the why? Doom 3 2. Yeah, Rand was here right now. We've also
Repeat
got
that again. What was the first
he said that
sentence?
He said Rand saying Wolf 3 is Multiplat. Blah blah blah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Let me say something real quick. Yeah, Rand and I both kind of said that recently. I said it in a video that I was really expecting Wolfenstein 3 to be a multiplat because we were thinking maybe Xbox would allow the rest of the community, even on PlayStation, to finalize that trilogy. But
why didn't you say that earlier? Because I brought it up earlier and I said different people are saying different things. We're not going to say anything because I didn't know what people were saying.
Oh, I mean, you kind of glossed over it and we moved on.
For
But
that
yeah,
reason.
I mean, I made a pretty good case of why it would be multiplat, but that's changing really quickly. So,
Damn.
Rand is
Yeah.
saying
Confirmed.
no. Rand is saying Wolf 3 is exclusive. He said it in the chat.
Yeah, and he also admitted
Yeah.
to being.
But you guys also need to
were-
understand that Rand said that Forza Horizon 4 is getting a Hot Wheels expansion. So.
Hot Wheels DLC.
Hot Wheels
And then-
DLC.
You know what?
Coming
Rand also
Rand
said,
announced
Rand
that
also
Hot
said
Wheels
there is a
pack.
super chat from Lord Starkiller Xbox Series X 01. Yeah, shout out to him. He's $30 super chat. He says straight business decisions for Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo to make their games available on more. Yeah,
I
how
love
do you
you,
make
Rand.
more games? You sell more copies. Yes, sir. There's a massive market out there. Thank you. Game Genie Prime. I got to get
Oh,
through several
crap.
of these.
Nice, John Allen. Nice.
John Allen, dude.
Go ahead.
What'd you break, John Allen? Game Genie Prime. He says, the guy names again. We don't need to bring up any people that like that. We've also got Immortal. He says Microsoft giving any of these games to other platforms will create industry pressure to give PlayStation more in the future. Perhaps, I don't know. Definitely, they know our opinions on this stuff. They watch the show. We've had them on the show, so don't worry. If some of you guys are thinking that they don't know what we're saying, trust me, they know. We've also got Derp the Sherp. He says RDNA 1.5 boys with that little
Derp the
clown
Sherp.
emoji. Hey, that's another thing. The damn the Terminator T2 from the past came back and he said, "Hey, I'm really what you thought." And then we moved on because we already talked about that. So yeah, no, RDNA whatever. I explained it in my last video. Check it out. RDNA, RDNA 3 guys. Snake Eyes 117. Shout out to you. He says, "Wake up, D-Batch." These are way back. Holy shit.
Sean LeBrie. Shout out to Sean LeBrie.
Shout out to Sean LeBrie who made the funniest damn GIF I had seen in probably the last 6 minutes.
The Peppa Pig one?
Just keep it
Oh.
RDNA too. Yeah, it's funny. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
it definitely surprised me. We've also got Raymond Terrell. He says, I'm bothered by the PC news because now they have they basically have they have PCMR. So, I mean, if you're worried about those guys bragging, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not worried about anyone bragging.
Why do you care? Like, it's a different platform. You won't even have to encounter them if you don't want to, if the game's not crossplay. And I'm sure if it is crossplay, there'll be an option to opt out. It's more people
the forced crossplay is bullshit, though. We don't want that, Microsoft. Give us a choice. We always said it's a good thing to have. Give us a choice, though, right? So that's what
said they said they'd like to try and give us choice, and mostly they've done that. There's a couple, like Sea of Thieves went through a spell where you couldn't disable crossplay, but mostly they've been giving choice. So
yeah, and like if you don't play Warzone, you can't play without crossplay on Modern Warfare.
Plus, Cole Eastwood confirmed the Dying Light exclusive.
Yeah, confirmed. KY Bob, shout out to you, brother. He says, do you think that you will be able to sign in with your PlayStation account and get trophies while playing on PC? Yes, I absolutely do. And it's only a matter of time until they launch their own store. They don't have enough time.
What?
Do they have that like infrastructure ready?
That's what they're working on.
Yeah.
So they're partnering with some guys that already have their shit up and running right now, and while they build their own stuff. Xbox achievements for PlayStation.
And it makes sense for them to have their own storefront, because why would you want to
pay that 30%, right, or that 8%, that 12%, whatever it is? Kent, by the way, he says, it's social media toxicity. Yeah, none of his PlayStation buds care whatsoever. That's good to hear. I like to meet more of them. I send one of them my way. Actually, we might have a good PlayStation guy on here one day if we can find one. And I'm sure they're out there. I'm not saying they're not out there. We ain't really found many of them. Ultimately, more money equals more support. Yeah, facts, super facts. But yeah, let me go ahead and move this forward. The Drew Murray thing. I don't have this written down. I can't believe I forgot this shit. Drew Murray, he had left for personal reasons. He had someone in his family pass away. He left the initiative. I think he's a creative director of Sunset Overdrive, right? And Resistance 3 or something like that. And then 19 days later, he announces he's back with Insomniac. And I mean, I'm not going to tell you everything about this. It seems like what it was meant to seem like, but I'm not also going to say that it's a big deal to me. I think that if he wants to work somewhere, he should be able to work somewhere no matter where it's at, because if you're miserable working somewhere, you're not going to be successful anyway. At least when it comes to being creative, you got to be able to be creative. And Colt, what were your thoughts when this happened? Back to Insomnia.
I know it's really tough. He basically said 19 days ago that it's what it looked like. He was stepping down from the games industry to take a break, and he was away from working at the initiative for 19 days. He was sent off by Daryl Gallagher, the head of the initiative. Like, good luck, buddy. Hope everything works out. And in my opinion, he already had the offer, or he's been wanting to go back to Insomniac since he left.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I mean, that's what he loves. And he has a bunch of people there that he used to work with, and he's built his career there. And they, I guess he took a position that was lower in tier than he had at the initiative, but I don't know. It's in Burbank instead of Santa Monica. Maybe it's closer to more friends and family. It's only like a 45-minute drive in LA traffic to there. Like, it's all these things, but it's a personal decision. It's not.
Well, he's a creative
his personal
director
decision
there now, right? Like at Insomniac.
No,
like
he's a games something.
Well, I feel like he really, honestly, like I was looking at it from like a professional way. Like I didn't even care if he left or went where or what. I'm talking more of like it seems like he loves working on new IPs.
What the fuck did you just say, Snake Eyes?
I think he just wanted, like, he worked on what do you call it, Sunset Overdrive, which he enjoyed. Yeah. And then now he's working on a brand new, starting to, at the initiative, he started a whole new team, and being creative and finding out new ways. And then I think he just kind of was like, all right, well, I kind of did my job here. So looked around, and Insomniac has probably something working that he wants to work on. Yeah. That's the way I looked at it.
Sunset Overdrive too?
I mean, I don't
think so. He wanted to go back. He always told fans when they asked, like, he would love to go back and revive the Resistance series, since PlayStation doesn't have a first-person shooter in their portfolio anymore, or they haven't really haven't in a while. I don't know. This was kind of a mess. Really, the real story here is how people treated him when he made the initial announcement, and then when he made this announcement, and it was kind of really nasty and showed the teeth of the social media community.
It was just weird. Honestly, it is weird. Like, let's just be 100 about it. It was weird.
Yeah.
Like when he said when he left the initiative, it was cool. Like he put out this thing and it was heartfelt, and it was kind of like, he's dealing with some stuff. So like everybody says, like, it doesn't matter about like what game he was working on, and it's like, give him his privacy because his family. And he kind of said, I need time. And it's like, okay. And then, 19 days later, he's like, hey guys, I'm at Insomniac now. Woo.
Well, maybe that's what he needs to come through that part in his life and be happy. That's
I just want to say in his defense, when you go into a new environment that you're not accustomed to, and you've become accustomed to the old environment for so many years, you can miss those people, right? And then you see they're having success and they're having new opportunities on something that you helped build, and you're over there and perhaps you're going through some personal issues and you don't have the friendships that you've acquired over the years at Insomniac. That could have been part of the reason too. So at the end of the day, if the guy is happy, let him be happy. He has every right to choose to work wherever he wants to work. He didn't say anything bad about Microsoft. He did his part there, and if he chooses to move on, so be it, man. There's many developers in the game. He's not going to be the first or the last that will switch or perhaps go back.
Yeah.
And this is just this is part of the industry.
I really think people need to stop, and this goes on both sides. When a developer leaves, stop trying to read into it or suspecting that it has to have this underlining meaning or that it's this big breakup. Listen, their job is very transient like that. You go from job to job to job, or that's part of the industry. Look at the guy from I forgot his name. Who's from Mass Effect? Remember, he was the guy from Mass Effect.
Casey Hudson.
Casey, you look at him. He's been to like 3 different companies in the last 5 years. Sometimes it's about finding themselves. Sometimes it's about, where you're comfortable. I could say this about Drew. Wonderful person. Really super hands-on as far as like when he first came to Initiative, he was like posting every day and super into it. And I noticed like
he follows us too. He follows us.
Yeah, he talks to us. He's a good guy, great guy. I noticed he wasn't posting as much, so who knows? Maybe he wasn't happy. Maybe you don't know. You have no idea what's going on in these people's lives. And
maybe you worked with someone that you didn't jive with. Like maybe it wasn't fun working with somebody. Who knows?
Maybe they pushed out his vision. Who knows? Or maybe he just wasn't happy there. Or who knows? Maybe he had something in his life that cleared up. Listen. The bottom line is we should be playing investigators because we're trying to get some, and I'm not saying us, but you're trying to get some fucking console war. Takeaway from it. Like, just get a life, man.
Yep.
Like, I mean,
people came at a lot of Pierce. People came at a lot of Pierce because she talked about Game Pass and how it was awesome or something, and then people were like, "You work for Sony Santa Monica. You shouldn't be like."
You better lie to us from now on, Lana.
And it's like stupid. It's like, get over it. People. You think that like right when she got the job, she threw her Xbox out the window, like stupid ass.
Good point. Out the window. We're not just talking about a game's Metacritic or the pixels or the frame rate. Like this is somebody who works that builds these games. So you end up doing is you start attacking someone just for your console war. And we've seen that kind of go both directions with Drew. And I could tell his post and the way he responded, especially to Tim. He had a nice response to me when I told him, hey, it's cool you're making games on both consoles and we can't wait to see what you have. And then Tim said something and he says, yeah, it's nothing personal, Tim. Thanks for the kind words or something. And when I read that, I'm like, man, he is really going through a hardship dealing with this, telling people about this decision because people have been attacking him over it.
Yeah.
Like he wronged everybody, and
yeah, we did cover that aspect, but this is the development where it turns out 19 days later he's with Insomniac, and maybe again he lost family. Like none of this shit mattered, right? Maybe this is what he needed to be, maybe in a spot or a location he preferred that made him more happy, or maybe closer to certain people. and that could drive. That's enough. He don't need no excuses. Money is an excuse alone. That could have been it. I don't know.
Who knows? You
Doesn't
could
really
have
matter.
sitting in the bed for the 18 days and crying your eyes out, and you're miserable, and you just wake up one day and you say, you know what? I got to move on. I got to do something.
Yep.
You know, people work in different ways, and and people deal with things in different ways, and who knows? Like that could be totally far fetched to a story. The bottom line is that we have no idea, and for people to say like, oh, he's leaving because the game is going down it's just wrong, and it's stupid, and
it's unavoidable, unfortunately.
And it's unavoidable, but like, come on, like, as a gaming community should be even a little step above that. Like when we're trying to get involved in developers' lives and trying to figure out what they're doing or what they're thinking, trying to like put like this narrative on it. Like, listen, everything, you don't have to put a narrative to every freaking thing that happens.
Yeah.
And that's what I see. Like people like see something happens and then they like think for a second, and it goes both ways. They're like, I'm gonna run with this. This means this.
You know what? Forget the facts. I'm gonna make up my own story.
And that stuff should be frowned upon. Like
I want to.
I don't know. It's just
to add what you're saying. Just add what you're saying there. Another thing that pissed me off this week that I saw a lot of people, talking about the RDNA 2 thing and saying, "Oh, the Xbox doesn't have all of this, doesn't have all of that." And not Jason Ronald. What's his name?
Stenard.
Yeah, Stenard. Jason, is his name Jason Stenard?
It's Stenard. I don't know. All I know is that guy is like number 2.
He's like an engineer that engineered.
No, he's like number 2, like Goosen and then him.
The guy knows. He knows what he's talking about.
And some of the fans were like, "No, it doesn't go like that. No, it's not full RDNA 2." And like when we're arguing with
the guy who made it,
like, come on, there's got to be a line, and gamers, need to know their place at certain times. Like, don't step over the line. At the end of the day, we're gamers to get away from all the bullshit and also to just enjoy ourselves. And I don't know, some of these guys, like, they take pleasure in just frowning or just saying shit about a brand that you might not particularly like, when at the end of the day it's just about gaming and having fun. Like, come on, what are we doing?
Yeah. Well, in that particular case too, the gentleman that you're talking, I wouldn't even call him that, but the guy that you're talking about endlessly went on and on for months about this certain subject, and it was great because Stenard was like, he's like, I'll take I'm the, like, he's like, I forgot what he said, but he's like, I'm the authority here. This is like, it's RDNA 2 and it has this and this, and basically told the guy to shut up, and the guy was just like, what could you do? It's like telling a brain surgeon what the hell he should be doing. Yeah, like,
is that the brain? Are you sure the brain's not in the kneecap?
You know what I mean? It's like, come on, it's just so crazy the gamers can be, or these people, especially with this stuff. I mean, we went from RDNA 3 to RDNA 1.1. I knew when that happened, I was like, oh my god.
Especially when they had hoisted this shit up to RDNA 7.259er. Bring that shit back down. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, shout out to Ermi, by the way. Ermi says, dealer, shout out to 100,000 subscribers. Hey, I am close to 100K. I'll be there soon, provided I keep making damn content. He does, and I will. He says, like, sub, do a backflip, and of course, become part of the real deal.
He's pulling a Fonz. He's leaving.
I'll be right back.
I'm leaving for 16 months. I'll be back. Peace.
And then I'm going to come back for another 2 weeks.
Yeah. So, but thanks, Ermi. Do appreciate it. We've got some more super chats here.
Sean Layden went to it like it. They were at Sean LeBrie was talking in the chat a minute ago while we were in that topic about where Sean Layden went. I looked him up. He's at the Odyssey group, which executes big major events. So he's basically
for Stadia
like
5.0
community manager for who knows what. I haven't
for
really
a big
read into
event
it.
planner, and then COVID hit, and he's like, ah!
And then,
sorry.
Yeah, he's been there since 2019, Soccer, since the end of 2019 when he disappeared. I'm sure he's doing all right though.
Yeah,
I liked him a lot.
Last time I saw him, I had him in a video. It was with Freddy Krueger, right? So,
yeah, I mean, both you
Sean.
and I kind of covered him that season, like talking about how he wanted to open up the PlayStation platform. Jim's like, I don't know, okay.
Well, yeah, Jim. I think Jim wanted to do it, and Ryan. Jim wanted to do it, and Sean didn't. And then Jim used his Ayukin, and yeah,
I mean, but Sean had quotes where he talked about opening up the walled garden.
yeah, but that's
So,
probably Jim's
but-
quotes in Sean's hand. Hey, we're gonna need you to read this and not anything else today, okay? Nah, thank you. He's like Tom Brady when he read the plays off his hand.
Off the arm.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know what the fuck's this code doing. I don't know this guy.
He's like, just press square on here. I don't know what to do.
Square, we're playing Xbox. Bitch, you can play Square. What? So again, hey, a shout out to everyone listening. Thanks for supporting us, and you guys are awesome. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything here. That was a big topic because we didn't expect to hear that from so soon, at least. And we wish Drew the best. That's the long story short.
Yes.
Let me move down. Ghost Recon, another game with none of these big glitches. Like we said, that the Division issue with the fog and stuff was going to be a glitch. They fixed that. They did. Even though somebody on Twitter tried to say that we just lied about all that stuff. Jesus Christ. Yeah, Ghost Recon on Series X and S are running phenomenally. What is this? Ghost Recon Breakpoint / break my damn sales. Delay every game for a year, Ubisoft. This game didn't do that great. It didn't come out to great acclaim, but the doubling in frame rate and extra fidelity on offer with the new systems is it's looking pretty good, actually. Colt, you've got some time on this real quick?
I played it. I played it about an hour today. Yeah, it looks good.
He's an expert.
Yeah, I mean, I wish they did this to Wildlands, but of course they want to support their latest game that they think
want
has
you
a
to
few more
support their
players on
latest
it.
game.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not great. It runs great, and Digital Foundry checked it out. It basically runs at 1440p 60 on Xbox Series X, and then it runs at 1080p 60 on the PS5.
Wow.
So it's another one of those like Gen 9 aware things where the Series X shows its actual power because it's running.
It's not showing its actual powers.
No, it's not.
It's showing
not.
GCN power.
Yeah,
It's yes, that's what I was trying to get to. That showing. Well, what I meant is it's showing the power differential between. It's showing the power differential between the Xbox Series X and the PS5 as far as the GPU and the clocks. So what you're seeing is GCN power head to head, and that's where Xbox has been shining lately.
But that's the reason it's winning, though. It's the only reason because what do you mean when the games are coded for what the Xbox has, then it gets worse.
It's going to be better. I noticed that on the back compat, they said it in the video. Obviously, I saw it. The texture filtering was better, and the textures were a lot better when they showed them side by side. There was just better textures, and of course, the resolution on top of that. So, for those that say that the Series X is not more powerful, we're seeing it here in action, where there's no type of optimization per se. It's just running on backwards compatibility on the power alone of the system. And you're seeing the divide. Now, when we see, like I said, over and over again, and I can't wait till we're seeing this stuff in motion, when we see mesh shaders, when we see variable rate shading, when we see, all of these techniques that Microsoft has exclusive, I should say, on the Series X, because these things are not present on the other consoles, we're going to start to see more of a divide. And this is where I think the exclusives will come into play, because if it's a Microsoft Studio or a Game Pass game, they're not going to have to worry about other platforms, and that's when they can really take advantage of these features. And I just think it's really bright days ahead for the Series X. I'm excited to see this stuff play out, man.
I have a question for you, D-Batch. We are seeing the difference between PS4 Pro back compat versus Xbox One X back compat. So the Xbox One X already had an advantage against the Pro.
Yeah.
So what does that mean as far as what we're seeing right now?
Well, the advantage is going to continue, obviously, because it's just a more powerful system. So it is what it is. Now, Sony, if they chose to, I guess they could go in there and, or the developers could go in there and, change the game up to get it running a little bit better quality. I could foresee that. But at the same time, the power there's a power difference. So if you have a developer that optimizes for both systems, that uses the power on both systems, 9 out of 10 times, it's going to look and run better on the Series X, just because it's more powerful hardware. It's like if I have a 3060 and I have a 3070, it's just expected that the 3070 is going to outperform the 3060. Now, there's going to be some instances where the 3060, depending on the game, might be a little bit close, or I could throw some DLSS on there to make it look better. But at the end of the day, it's less powerful hardware, and there's nothing that you can do about that. It is what it is.
Shogun said, "Hey, let's tell Sony what Microsoft are doing." Some of you guys are pretty savage. Well, I guess, yeah. I mean, again, it should get better, and it's starting. I mean, Tim, we didn't expect this stuff to turn so quickly. I mentioned this in one of my videos recently. You were talking about 8 months, 10 months.
Well, yeah, I remember the conversation that we had, and I remember what you specifically in Cult, and I was like, yeah,
10 months. I said 10 months. What the fuck?
Yeah, you're like, what are you talking about? But not to mention the last thing I heard was that that I think they made some specific gains in certain areas, and I don't know whether that's the new the SDK update, but I'm hearing they're going to have some definite more wins, like comparison. Listen, they were a little behind. It was what we said. It was what we were being told.
It's better.
You look at the specs of the system, it's kind of obvious. Even more so, like, Xbox waited. Like I said, Xbox waited. Like we all said, they waited for the full RDNA. They also waited for the machine language, that hardware that's built in there for the optimization. And listen, people were literally holding on for life for a couple of wins in the first month or the first week. But like the last 5 weeks, even though some of them were backwards compatibility, other than the Hitman,
they run with it no matter what it was. Battery test, battery lasts longer.
Like, it's becoming what we kind of expected, and I think down the line when this stuff is really leveraged, Xbox is going to shine even more. I mean, it's this isn't made up stuff. This is actual hardware. This is factual. I think that I do think that the story that Sony believe, from what I've heard from really good sources, that they believe that they are a 2019 build, that they just basically revised it and they sped the clocks up and they did what they could do, whereas obviously Xbox waited, and they're getting things like VRS tier 2, tier 1. They built it all around with DX12. Listen, it's going to start to show, and I heard that it's going to further show, and it's not as like I remember telling you in Cult that, and you guys were like, oh well, that's going to be really bad, and I was like, well, what could you do?
I wasn't hearing anything else either. I mean, that was pretty much like I couldn't hear any other numbers besides that.
I like I said, I heard recently that basically more wins are coming. They had I guess a meeting, and
they said y'all got some wins, right?
Head engineer, I guess, was they whatever they do, the optimization of the GDK was coming along. Now, you got to realize when the GDK, that was the first iteration of a GDK, so that was the game core that was always rumored. That was
like some flat tires on a car. Like, all right, we got it running. Right. Now let's get some guitars.
Yeah, so they figured some stuff out, and and they optimized, and you're going to see more of that. And I think you're definitely going to start to see the trend, kind of like we were saying pre system launch. People come here and they want to listen to us for general, factual information, and when all that came up, it was kind of like really hard for us because we're not engineers, we're just people. This is what we heard, and obviously you look at a spec sheet and it's obvious on one point. You're going to draw some conclusions,
and it goes so far beyond that, though, Tim. You're doing yourself a disservice. You're doing everyone else a disservice without trying, of course. But there's so much more to it. It's so stressful keeping up with all this shit. Right. Like the initial power targets, all this stuff. It's stressful,
and all we wanted to do is be honest. Yeah. Like that's the thing. Like from the when you broke the 12 teraflop thing, and you were like, Tim, find out if it's you got to find out if it's RDNA.
I need this information, Tim. Get back to me.
And it wasn't like just like, and then on all the flip of the coin, just people are just making stuff up, and it kind of gets disheartening because those people actually were listened to, and like not that we were ever disregarded, but it was just like it was like surreal, like what was going on. But only good intentions here. We just wanted to always give you what we heard, and it's listen. If Xbox was less powerful, believe me, you'd have dealers screaming about how Xbox screwed up. But they came through.
Yeah, because especially if all the sources that we heard were saying before it came out were wrong. Holy shit! Like, and we were doubling like we were very confident. So yeah, I mean, again, it's tough keeping up with it. It's stressful, and on top of that, you got guys. It's a lot of voices that don't agree, just like they didn't agree with the chat and us about all the games going to every device. Been saying this for years. But it was more than that. It was details like the instant game load stuff, all this stuff that they were doing, we were putting out there. And one of my videos popped up after a Linus video the other day, and I was like, holy shit! Like everything, all of this shit happened years ago, right? So this is nuts. Like, again, that's one of those things where it's a lot more to it than just saying some words, because you do care about your accuracy and you're just trying to get information out there. So.
So while you were talking about that, a couple of people in the chat were upset that we were using back and pat as a win for Xbox. Like, we were
they used they used the box as a win for PlayStation.
Well, they were the same people though that were giving a win. Remember when Borderlands 3 came out?
It wasn't even patched for the Xbox, just a res boot.
Yeah, we were just reporting on what Breakpoint happened to show up. We did the same thing for Division and Hitman.
And we even gave you the benefit of the doubt.
Everything.
Division said that's a glitch. It will be fixed. And that was before they were saying that.
We always talk about this stuff. And somebody in the chat said, I'm going to have to get a clip of you using this as a win in ammo. It's like, holy smokes, man. Like, not everything is your precious console war. Like, not everything is like exposed. People are crazy. Like, I get criticized for when Digital Foundry will put up something. I'll put the numbers up and say, this is 35% more pixels. And they're like, quit being quit being toxic, Cole.
Just barfing.
Yeah, it is absolutely nuts.
These guys, if you're that upset because we told you the damn truth about a game running better on a platform, get used to it, and I'm going to enjoy it.
Yeah, because it's a long generation, and the divide is going to start going when developers start using RDNA 2 features on their PC ports that go to console, and they have to strip. They don't have that for PlayStation 5. That's just how it is.
Cold guard.
And I'll just repeat whatever dealers said.
These motherfuckers, I swear to God.
It's funny because they don't speak up until PlayStation eventually takes an L, like as they say, right?
What do you mean? Me?
No, these guys, these guys, they won't say a word until they think PlayStation is not getting the big W. And then somebody wrote clouded up, Colt. I won't hear a word from them until PlayStation is not winning something. They're like, gosh dang it, no, PlayStation always wins. Yep. And I got to speak up. I have to put a fire out, or, I have to pour some cold water on this. It's like, holy smokes, bro. Holy smokes.
I like it. Hey, guess what? Raymond Terrell, shout out to me. He says, Deal is one of the main reasons I actually started thinking about getting Series X, and he actually got one. Let us know how you're enjoying that, man. Let us know if you're enjoying it. I'm enjoying seeing the frame rates, man. The balance, the performance, the load times. It's just an enjoyable system to play. It really is. Yeah. Nice, balanced console for both of them, as we've always said. It's okay to have an opinion about what you think will be faster or better. It's not like we're making streams with Bill Spencer or Jim Ryan's animated character up there with a L on his forehead. So it's a conversation. Some of you make it through all of it, and you have all the context and facts, and you know what you're talking about. Others listen to a rat on Twitter with a 3-second soundbite of Colt telling you and 100% confirming Dying Light is only on Xbox. See, now they probably clipped that right there. I gave him enough room to pause. I did it on purpose. I paused.
So we can get a perfect sound clip. Yeah.
Colt Eastwood exposed again.
Just remember, like, Nintendo's not going to win at everything. Xbox is not going to win at every single thing, and PlayStation's not going to win every single thing. Like, each one has things they do better than the other. So
exactly.
Yeah, like my PlayStation 5 takes up a shit ton of space.
Mm-hmm. Somebody goes, they saw a picture, and they're like, oh my gosh, your console's going to overheat. I'm like, I could fit 3 PlayStation 5s on that part of my cabinet, but no, I'll be fine. I'll be fine.
See, the fact that I said the PS5 takes up a lot more space, that probably actually made a real human mad. How much you guys think about that?
No, it's not big.
It's not that big.
It's
like
not that huge. God, I can't see past it.
My 5-year-old's bigger than that PlayStation 5.
No, it's a bit.
We're having fun. We're trolling. And
I want to say something real quick though. I'm gonna have a heyday because we've been telling people all the time, like, the tools are coming and they made fun of us and like, oh, the PlayStation 5 is gonna outperform it. the generation is so long. 4 years. It's gonna be 4 years of you just feeling it because you came out the gate and you gloated. Like, come on, the first week you think the console space is gonna be solved or it's gonna be won in the first week. Like, come on, what are we doing here?
Yeah, especially after we were literally saying before the comparison came out that we expect this to happen. And then you try to turn this shit like you ain't even at the party. This is what the information's at. You ain't even here, and you acting like the guys. God. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and munch on a Rice Krispie treat. Something to take my
give this next one to Zocker in case he passed out.
Zocker did pass out. I'll give it to his corpse though. Actually, this was another good one for Tim, but Zocker, are you alive? All right. Zocker's fired. We need a new guy for the show.
Barely.
Barely.
I can hear your coffin lid come up.
Crawled out from under the desk.
You should, next time, say it with a creak sound.
Crawled out of my coffin thumbnail.
So Zocker, Microsoft, this is reports, quote unquote. I hate that word, report. Breaking report. Halo 5 on PS5. Report, quote unquote, that there's an event following. There's a March event. That's what I'm trying to say. Following the Bethesda deal closure. And apparently, Tim, I saw this 683 job openings at Xbox right now. And you spoke about there being like 7 in 2017. Think about that.
Yes,
He said
yeah.
7, and I
Someone's
replied
hungry.
with, "You're being generous with the 7."
Yeah.
So much hate for that. People were like, "Yeah, what it was." I was like, "I'm joking,
It's
people."
only two, it's only two of them, you liar.
You know, and in addition to it, you also had a video about how about their organic growth, I think a year ago, about how it was 600 just within the studio. So yeah, they're hiring like they're crazy. I think that
they like gaming, right?
Yeah, I think whatever these studios are getting at, they want. Like, I think the story about Compulsion, where they were like a thorn in Phil's side. They're saying we don't want to be the small guys this. We want to be big. They got bigger, and then they showed their game and supposedly impressed a lot of people. You know, I mean, listen, if you can grow and you can be big and you can deliver the goods, you know, I think that you know, they have a lot of studios, especially like Obsidian. They must be hiring a lot. They have a lot on their plate. And they want this new Vegas game. So yeah, it's crazy how much, you know, they're hiring, and they don't really like to talk about that stuff because of like what I talked about with Compulsion. Like if they say, hey, like Undead Labs is getting all these people, kind of the other studios will look at that and say, hey, we want to be that big, or we want to have another 50 guys. And that stuff's real. And but yeah, they've been hiring, as we know, for a long time, organically growing these studios and just Xbox as a whole. They even grew ATG, which, as we talked about, ATG is the people that they send to help developers with games. They help them with Cyberpunk and you know, certain games to get them used to the GDK and stuff like that. You know, they even expanded that. So yeah, they're going full bore onto this. This is going the way it's going.
Of everything, the recent topic, Others Inc. drops a megaton. He said, a 5-year-old is not bigger than a PS5. Now, if you're, remember Others Inc., he takes stands on the weirdest thing. I'm sure there's a 5-year-old out there that is, but I remember Others Inc. with the two consoles. I got to expose Others Inc. again. But it was hilarious going back and forth with Others Inc. Be like, trust us, buddy, there's two consoles. Well, Phil said one. I said, well, Phil just couldn't count that day. I don't know. And, you know, there was two. But I just thought Others Inc.'s, and shout out to Phil. I thought Others Inc.'s comment was pretty funny. Shut up, Phil. Hey, also,
wait, I want Others Inc. to write. I want Others Inc. to write in the chat what he thought when they showed the Xbox Series S.
He's like,
and he told us for like 4 months, or he told us for like 2 years that there was no Lockhart. So Others Inc. write in the chat, please, what you felt like when they announced that, and then Dealer and I were right.
And this is where Others Inc. bans.
No, shout out to Others Inc. He's one of the biggest supporters in the history of the show.
Yeah, we've talked to him on Xbox Live. Like, we hung out for a couple hours. He's awesome. Yeah, he's hilarious.
Others Inc. and Rand are really good friends too. So,
yeah, I mean, Rand wanted to be really close friends with Others Inc. and Zink just wasn't having it. He's got too much shit, big things going on.
Dude, yeah, he's not gonna go with Baby Mouth. He don't care.
Baby Mouth.
Baby Mouth.
Others Inc. just put LOL. So that's his thought when he saw the little box.
Well,
Damn it! LOL.
and we'll see you on Xbox Live. Others Inc. We need to party up again. That was a good time.
Yeah. We played some Gears with him. One time, I need to. Yeah, just one time. But the one time was phenomenal. I thought he was a Dutch guy, and he's just regular dude who lives here in the States. So again, shout out to Others Inc. and everyone else rocking out.
Regular, he lives in.
Hmm?
He's just like, I thought he was a Dutch guy, but he's just a regular.
Hello,
dude that
I'm Others Inc. No, like that's what I thought I was going to hear.
Don't live outside the States aren't regular.
No, to me, regular is a relative. Zalker, you really want to make me kill you right now? Come on.
He thought Other Zinc was like an old time cobbler.
Hello, I
Surely
am
making
Others
shoes.
Inc. Yeah. And he wasn't. He was like, hey, all right. Hey, well, you live in
so
America
funny
with
we-
me? Okay, so to me, you're regular.
It's just funny that we talk to all these people, and depending on your picture or your name, you have to make up what you think the person is like, what they sound like. It's kind of funny. I'm sure you. Well, I mean, you hear what we sound like, but like when you look at a name, you're like,
picture, I think I thought that was going to be him, like his voice, but it wasn't. It was much more girly. So yeah. Hey, shout out to D-Batch who just talked in the background. Also, we've got a few of these. Somebody just laughed in their cup. We got a few more super chats here. Nano, he says, I don't know who he's talking about here though. He says he needs a PC. How long? Yeah, the narratives keep shrinking. Nano, shout out to you, brother. I've been talking to Nano a lot. Mr. Joanna Doc, who she's coming out in a future game. You might have heard of it. Evening, fellas. First time I get to actually listen to the show live. We get that comment a lot. Shout out to everybody doing that. Big fan of everyone's content. I'm a big fan of theirs as well. Do you think, and Colt, I'll let you answer this one because it's Nintendo. You love them. Do you think Nintendo will be next in waiting that piece of PC money? They already went to iPhone with Mario. Mario jumped over there.
No.
nope, I don't think so.
Never ever?
No,
Never,
and I don't
ever?
think you can use any example of PlayStation or Xbox or PC to gauge what Nintendo will do.
Yeah.
All you can guess is 9 out of 10 times Nintendo will do something that is completely successful, and the 10th time was the Wii U. Honestly, like that's the only bad time they've had in their like 40 years of gaming
What about the Power Glove?
experience. I mean, they were,
What about
but they were super
the virtual
pop. They were
reality?
super huge, even with Virtual Boy and the Power Glove. Like they had some misses, but yeah.
What about the cardboard boxes they sold?
What about the
and-
cardboard
the
Jenga
Legos?
boxes they cut up and they made into a
Remember when
Lebu,
Bond's
Nintendo
like, I'm going to
Lebu?
get that for my kids. And
I brings back
you're like,
memories of back when I used to cut up boxes. That's what Fawn said. He loved
He
it.
said, when I used to live in a cardboard box, I love that.
Back when I had a box. That's what I did. Hey, shout out
Simply
to Adrian as well. He says, great. He's auditioning for Tony the Tiger. Kent, he says, it's straight social media toxicity. Oh, hang on. I read that one. Okay. Now let me skip to the bottom and work my way back. Kent, again, and I can't see that one for some reason. I'll get to that one in a second. He does say, honestly, no one should care who wins. Yep. We preach this all the time. He says, I play on all, and each of them offer a unique experience. Be a gamer or get the fuck out. Basically, is what he's saying. And yeah, every platform's got their own advantages, disadvantages, depending on who you are. And for me, that's why I'm a console guy. Even though I got a PC that's...
You'd hope that one doesn't die, really.
Yeah.
Must have stayed
Hope
up.
your console don't go out because you ain't getting one Brett Favre to you from across the country anytime soon. We've also got Snake Eyes. He says, so D-Batch, he said, I did some calculations. Yeah, he said, actually, the math, what math is he talking about? What math did you do?
Oh, the for Microsoft's SSD.
Well, I mean, yeah, we've had a developer on the show that said that shit, right? He confirmed everything. Well, I think he went beyond what the claims were there.
I guess time will tell how it will play out. I think it's going to be very effective. I also think Sony's method is going to be effective. I like I've always stated, Sony might be faster, but it's going to be like seconds. It's going to be like maybe 2-3 seconds, and we're finding out that's not even really the case unless it's completely utilized. Because in the back compat games,
hardware back compat limited by the CPU and GPU, right?
Yeah, but still, you got to load stuff off the drives, and right now the drives are loading faster on the Series X, and all the back compat games that I've seen so far, the X for the majority is loading faster. So
yeah, that's because the SSD is bottlenecked by hardware backwards compatibility.
Yeah,
That's why
so-
the Series X and software backward compatibility can emulate multiple systems. You don't have to have the hardware running at similar or original clocks to do so, and you get that full bandwidth. Nothing really bottlenecked quite as much.
Yeah, we're not going to see the full potential, like of their IOs until real exclusive games come for both of these systems. That's when they're going to be able to utilize it to its full potential. And in the long run, I think they're both going to be very close. Sony kind of put all their eggs in one basket with this SSD. That's all we heard about, this SSD.
It's got an extra graphics card on it.
And the system's more than the SSD. The SSD will load things faster. It's not going to give you higher frame rates. It's not going to give you better graphic fidelity. So, we'll see how this plays out. The generation is still new. People can't even get their damn consoles. So let's see how it plays out.
They're pissed about that. Lucas said, "AMD sounds dead." Yeah, we just went through this big thing. We're like winding down. The show's been pretty awesome. Chat's been amazing. Shout out to Luke as well. She was one of the original members of RDX, by the way. For those of you who didn't know.
And she's been bringing facts.
Yeah, factuals.
She?
She's been crushing her videos. So go check her out and check out her videos. Lord Star Killer, you're back again. He says, yeah, wait a minute. Sony have RDNA 3. How's this happening? I don't know. Magic. I don't know. We've also got King 202. He says, y'all seen Bethesda Game Studios' first tweet about Starfield? Starfield? What happened? Colt, go.
What happened to Starfield?
You tweet 70,000 times a day. What did they say?
Only because Zocker doesn't want me to.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what they said, but exclusive. Are you talking about what Bethesda tweeted?
So the Etch a Sketch or the PS5 or what?
They I have to relook it up, but they're doing like a call for like a little contest thing. Let me grab it real quick while I stall for 2.5 seconds. And
they're having
crap.
a fan
There it is.
make a character. For
Yeah, bid now on the Bethesda Games bundle featuring a character design a character for Starfield, a new Xbox Series X, and a digital library of almost all of their Bethesda games over the past like 6 years. What is it, Zocker? It's for the Make-A-Wish.
Oh, I don't know who it's for.
The Make a Soccer Foundation.
We're delighted to provide the opportunity to design a character for Starfield to one lucky winner, as well as an Xbox Series X and a bunch of games. And they put up this picture of the Xbox Series X with the Starfield logo and all of these Bethesda games, and it's like, just kind of looks like, hey, this is what Xbox is going to look like.
Hey,
in a
I got a
weeks.
question for you though.
Yes, sir.
Do they have a picture of Forza Motorsport 5 in the wrong place? Like, you remember when that happened? Did they use the wrong game? No, they didn't. Good news.
I don't remember that.
Sony promoted Gran Turismo Sport with Forza Motorsport 5 pictures.
Oh, I
remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that. They had like screenshots from Forza
I got
5.
a message 20 years ago from Nano. He's like, no, how could they do this? And he was really irate about that. So shout out to Nano Polymath as well. Colt, will you share tips with the dealer? Don't make Colt tell you what tips were shared, because then we hear about some weird things. Hey, not between anyone here, okay? Just to be clear. It's Donnie, Super Chat. I'm going to rescue this with him. He's saying RIP to Twitter accounts of ponies that were basically destroyed by loose lips. Ryan. What does he mean by that, Colt? Were there guys out there that were running for years saying the opposite?
No.
Okay. Hey, Johnny Lozani says, he says, is it pronounced Zalker or Zucker? We say it every single way, and I spell it wrong intentionally.
He does.
Zalker.
He says it's intentional, but did you hear Fonz read that quote earlier? Dealer typed it. A lot of misspells.
No, I didn't type it. Siri typed it, and she typed Colts perfectly, so she already knew Fonz was a fraud, apparently. I didn't have to tell.
Fonz misread it. It was actually written correctly. I'm not going to let Fonz throw you under the bus.
Really? Was it?
He said
I didn't even
chance
read it, so.
said change.
They made Siri a lot better.
We're trying to help Fonz learn.
I had my phone powered
better.
down when I typed that.
I had my TV off when I made that. Snake Eyes. He says, I like video games. Hi, Mom. Shout out to you, brother. Dark CMF. I think. Oh, he says, come on, Fonz. You were in love with the PS5 when you when you started to open it. Fonz is like, that motherfucker's on a teeter-totter on wheels. All right? He's like, I love this. I hate this. He's all over the place. So just take it easy on Fonz. But yeah, he definitely.
Teeter-totter on wheels.
He invented one. He got a teeter-totter on wheels, and that's how, that's why he left. He has one of those. Why would he be here? And then I think.
That's why he changed from the grounded gamer, because we all know he ain't grounded.
And then Lord Starkiller Game says, I wonder why when PS5 Slim will look like, probably like the PS5 fat but slimmer Megaton. And I think that's pretty much it. That's a pretty
Gosh,
long.
remember when the PS3 each model looks so wildly different during that generation?
Just because they had one with a sliding glass door on it, they're like, it's still too expensive. You know, they just kept going. They just whittled it down.
Did they have 2 models or did they have 3? They had
three.
the curved one with like the chrome, tray.
They had the fat one with all the back compat. They took the back compat and the card readers out. They had that one. Then they had the PS5, PS3 George Foreman. And then they had the little thin George Foreman one, and then they had the sliding glass door. Hey, welcome to Dollar Store Edition.
Yeah, that one was really bad, man. That one was so.
That's the one I had. The one that was like,
cheap.
shaped like an egg with grills on it.
That was definitely the
Colt
worst.
bought that one from a guy. He had it in his trunk.
That worked at Zoomies. I'm like, hey, where's the charging cable? It's like, oh, it's in my trunk. I'm like, well, bring it over here. He goes,
He's like, I didn't say you could have that. I said the PS3, bitch.
Yeah, it had dollar store build quality, and the new PlayStation is so devoid of any design that they've ever done before. Like I like the system, just the design. When I look at it in my entertainment unit, it's like, gosh dang it, man, it's so ugly.
Just spray paint it black, D-Badge. He's still laughing about that damn power cord.
I love that company that's going to sell you the new plates, and they don't give a dang if Sony tries to sue them.
Well, they went out of business.
They said
no, they're still working. They're still pushing, and good for them.
Yeah.
Hey, did D-Brain go out of business? Because Linus did a video. I watched it today. He said, "I'm expecting a bag of money, and I didn't even get paid." He put the video out. And
who went out of business?
D-Brand. I don't know if he's trolling or what. Like, it was a weird video for Linus, like talking about stuff that it's just weird. It was weird. It was kind of, not that I didn't enjoy it. It was just different. And he said that they went out of business in the middle of the brand deal, and they made these black PS5 plates for the console that actually looked really cool. And then he ruined it with a sticker down the middle, but you could always take that off. And that's how Colt Eastwood got exposed.
Dealer Dying Light 2.
You left dead air, I had to fill it. So, hey, again, guys, thanks for rocking out with us. Seriously, almost 2,000. Again, hit the like button if you haven't, and shout out to the 40 to 60,000 that will check it out over the next week. You guys power the show, makes us what we are. Hit the like button, show up, tell a buddy, and of course, because you guys do that, it continues to be one of the biggest Xbox podcasts in history, and slowly die at the very end of it. So yeah, thanks again, Colt. Tell people what you've been playing, and where can people find you hiding offline?
Hide offline.
What?
Yeah,
I'm trolling.
I've been playing. I played some Breakpoint today. I don't even remember what I've been playing, but I got 120,000 gamer score, which isn't too shabby.
You don't play any games, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I could play a lot.
It's
more.
weird how people say they only play Gears, Halo, and Forza, but they got 3-4 times the gamer score I got.
But I absolutely do not chase gamer score. You won't ever see me. I mean, you wouldn't see me, but I never look up an achievement to go get it. Like,
hold on,
I don't know.
Hold on. Colt doesn't look up gamer score unless dealers
no.
beating him for the month. Unless dealers beating him for the month, and then all of a sudden,
okay, that's facts. Soccer's got me on that one. I don't look up where to get achievements, but you're dang sure I look to see where a dealer is, so I can beat him for the month.
I'm the one who actually doesn't look up to get achievements. Unless
I know dealers just sitting there dunking in 2K for 16 hours, and Colt's like, "You son of a bitch!
You got an achievement for dunking. I gotta go get 10 points right now." Yeah, Colt's a fraud.
No, hey, then why when I'm playing a game, I'm like, yes, achievement, and you go, stop getting those. Why do you say that?
Stop cheating. Hey,
so you can find me at Colt Eastwood on Twitter and YouTube, and thanks for all the support, guys. It's a super fun show tonight.
Of course. We've also got D-Batch MS Prime. Tell people what you've been playing, brother. Always great to have you on the show. You've been on the show for years now. Chat, give D a thumbs up, and go follow this motherfucker. Right? Where can they find you, D? What you been playing?
Yeah, I can find me at D_batch on Twitter, and of course D-Batch on YouTube. I've just been playing a little bit of Call of Duty. It's just been too busy for me to actually have time to play games. It's just I'm so burnt out at the end of the day. It's just brutal right now, man. It's brutal right now. The industry is just crazy right now. Everybody wants a rig, everybody wants a GPU, everybody wants a mining rig. So it's just busy time. So not a lot of time for games, just a little bit of Call of Duty. But it was great talking with you guys today. Support us, hit the like button, and I'll see you guys next week.
Here we go. We've also got Tim Dog. What have you been playing, brother, and where can people find you?
I've been playing Madden Franchise 21. It's been pretty cool. Finished Yakuza, like I said last week, which was great. And I'm going to start Little Nightmares too. I keep forgetting to start that, but I heard it's very good. Good show tonight. Thanks for everyone showing up. You can always find me at on Twitter, xCloud Tim Dog, and also here Tuesday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
You're Donnie exposing Cold Eastwood. I don't expose gamers. Okay, we've also got Zalker87. What have you been playing, brother? And where can people find you making videos?
What's up, buddy? Just making videos on Zalker87 YouTube channel. Then find me on Twitter, Zalker87. Yeah, just been playing Medium. I know that game got like kind of like people dragged it to
71,
the
right,
but I'm really enjoying the game. I don't even, and you know me, dealer. I shit my pants
You're
when
like,
something
hang
falls
on,
out
this
of,
gives me
when
gamer
a
score, I
random
just gotta feed a
falls
cat?
out of a locker room. I'm just like like a corpse. I don't like horror games, but that game's actually pretty good. The story's really well done. The voice acting's really damn good, and I like the like how they use the SSD with like the split worlds. It's pretty cool. I've actually really enjoyed it. So I've been playing that. I beat the first Telltale Batman game. Like that had one chapter left, so I just beat that. That's a lot of fun. And I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty and a little bit of Sea of Thieves.
Power
I played
Rangers
Sea of Thieves
X
on Friday. Dude, I made like I think it was like $500,000 or gold on freaking Sea of Thieves on Friday night. It was great.
And you bought one sale?
Destroyed human beings. Destroyed human beings.
How much is the sale in that game?
What do you mean a sale?
Like if
the sale. Like, well, if you're like a pirate legend, they cost like $300K.
Your prices
So
are
they have different ones. They have different ones if you're a pirate legend.
I'll fly out of 2K and dunk on the family whoever decided those prices.
How much for the clap dab emoji?
Miles is
I
like,
don't
this is
know.
the dab clapper or whatever. He's something he said he got it from a girl.
The emoji I have is when you lay down seductively and point at people.
Did you
Oh,
ever
I
get
gotta have
kicked
that.
out of the game?
When I go on enemy ships and they don't know it, I'll just lay on their just right there, just seducing them. They walk by like, what the hell?
This guy,
How much-
let's leave.
How much for the emoticon thing when you point at a burning ship out in sea that says WTF?
How much is the thumbnail that had the burning case on it and the WTF in the sale? And then
The
wouldn't
inside
charge
joke
anything.
there, audience, is Dealer made a really funny thumbnail when he reviewed Sea of Thieves back in 2018.
seven,
Yeah,
when that
and
game
we
come out?
still laugh at it. It's you'll have to go look it up on his channel.
I think it was.
Pretty
I think it was 17. Was it? Yeah.
funny. Was it?
Holy crap!
No, it was 2018.
No,
2018.
2018.
Yeah,
is
right
when
before
Sea of
God of
Thieves came
War
out.
came out, and yeah.
It's
Yeah.
already been 2 years.
Yeah. Anyway, he just took one of the
3
pirates
years
and
in a row.
he built this thumbnail that every time I look at it, I laugh. So you'll have to go back on his channel and check it out. And let's get Dealer to 100,000 subs. Like he should be hitting that in a week or two.
Hey, I
So,
don't blame
tell your
myself.
grandma.
I don't blame myself for not hitting it. Like I said, I could hit it last year. I just couldn't make the videos. I was doing a lot of stuff going on, like but everyone's going through stuff with the pandemic stuff. So take
Well,
care
but I
of
mean,
things and do it.
everybody here has at least 5 or 6 grandmas that they can have subscribe to the channel. So
Yeah,
or aunts or whatever. Yeah, let's get Dealer to
Can we
100,000.
stop begging for subs? This is sad.
yeah. Zalker told the truth right there. For
That's
once.
my job.
Finally. Been trying to train this boy how to tell the truth ever since I found him.
Zucker's like, please go and watch Colt and my videos because our channels are corpses.
You guys made a
Stadia.
video. You collaborated on that
Stadia video.
Stadia video.
Epic
on
Game Store.
Megatron.
Epic Game Store.
Oh, Epic Game Store. I keep forgetting. Damn.
I would too. Anyway,
It's actually one of the lowest rated videos I have. It's like a 62%.
he said Zalker's in here. Trash.
Later. I gotta go
All right,
sign
bro.
my kitchen.
Yadani,
Whatever,
one more
the
super
most
chat real quick.
talented.
Yadani, he says, dealer was a tricep reveal. That is not true. I told you personally, not everyone else. But yeah, seriously, thank you guys for joining us. We're gonna go eat, and I'll see you guys on Xbox Live. Follow me at dealer. Space dealer space II and Twitter at dealer_gaming, and of course here hit the subscribe button, the bell icon. And thanks to you to watch the show and stick up for the truth and all that on Twitter. There's 100 people on Twitter that are just like to take stuff we say out of context, and you guys just smack them so hard. It's so funny. Thank you for doing that. It takes a lot of time that we don't have to do that. So thanks, and we'll see you in the next episode. Tim Dog's sleeping, Colt's tired, Zalker has been a corpse since Rain killed him in that one episode, and I'm gonna go eat.
Dealer. Door
Peace
Creek
out.
Soccer. Actually.
Actually, yeah.